Hey, everybody. How are you doing? I forgot my Dr. Pepper. So I'm going to have to run off and go get that. I wonder. So I'm trying something today. I'm waiting on this thing to go away. Hey, it's just automatically set. So I'm just like, okay. Even though it shows a little like a split second of you right when it first starts. And I'm like, what's the point? It's like, pea pie. How are y'all? How are you doing? Juror number 15? Well, he's a little rascal, isn't he? He's a little rascal. I wanna make sure there's no echo because I'm in StreamYard on my phone, which I'm like, "Oh, what can I do now?" Because if I'm not echoing, then that means I can upload things while I talk to you from my phone, which is very handy dandy. No echo? Alright. I must be, getting some good portal karma points or something. What do y'all think? Yeah, Imma have to go get my drink because I can hear my tongue. But anyways, okay, so I slept. I slept a lot. I slept a lot. Um, it wiped me out, and I didn't know. Like, I didn't I don't know. This is 3rd trial, right? So, pretty much have the hang of it by now, but, it's just a little. I guess it's like a come down from all of the adrenaline, perhaps. Yeah, I needed it big time. I'm gonna, have to pull up at something and, I'm gonna put it in front of y'all so you're not just looking at me or a blank chair while I go get my drink. Yeah, totally forgot that. I didn't bring my notebooks. I was like, "I'm gonna be a big girl today, and I'm not gonna bring all my notebooks." I never hardly ever look at them. If I do look at them, I don't ever know where to go. So, I was just like, "I'm just gonna bring my phone and my cigarettes." So I left my drink. There's that. Let's see. Hold on just one second. Wrong. Mhm. Thank y'all for being here, though. I appreciate that. Always, always. I mean, what do y'all feel? Like, how do you feel? How do you feel about the verdict? And then how do you feel and what do you think about her damn interview? I swear, I shit you not. After conviction, after verdict, I told Jason, I don't know what brought it up. I think we were watching the jurors in different interviews, and I was like, I looked at him and I was like, what wouldn't it be crazy if Hooker would, get her another interview? And we were like, oh yeah, bam. I was like, wow, called that one. Which I'll share my thoughts on that in just a moment. I don't even want to talk because I keep opening the wrong thing, y'all. Okay. And so they're the only 3 jurors that have, to my knowledge, right? 1, 2, 3, and 15's the one we gotta watch, right? I mean, yeah, that's interesting. We're gonna watch that here in just a minute. Let's see. What am I doing? Messing myself up. Okay. Oh, that's why. Okay. Well, since we can't play the interview, because, Arizona's family likes to strike you down. They don't care who you are. So, I pulled the transcript, but actually, I'm just gonna put something on for y'all. So, I won't sit here and do this. I'll hurry and go get my drink and get on with it. Hold on. Just hiding myself for a second, doing this, and I'm just gonna play this, okay? We're just gonna listen to Trina K talk about the text that sealed the deal for Lori. So I'll be right back. Is she doing it? Okay, I'm like, is it the space or something?
Now, as we again continue through this, are you seeing sort of every day multiple texts of love between these two?
I am, yes.
And again, going through the 17th, 16th, 17th, again, more affirmations of love, correct?
Yes.
Now, we know on the 15th of July is when Lori Vallow had called Banner Life Insurance to indicate that she was the beneficiary, right?
Correct.
And on the 18th is when she learned that she was not.
Correct.
So in Exhibit 229, do we see on July 18th at 12:18 Arizona time? So I talked to the insurance company. He changed it in March. So it was probably Ned before we got rid of him. They can't tell me to whom, of course, but it's done. I'll still get the $4,000 a month from Social Security.
Yes.
So on July 18th,
Okay.
after she talked.
All right. Yeah. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for being the coolest people ever. I swear. I don't ever have my shit together. Never. Fancy Nancy says, bam, right? What you bamming about? All of it? All of it? Anyways. Hey, Heather Rose. How are you? Hey, THX 1138. Vix Tex. I want a t-shirt that says, get over yourself. I'll put an F in the middle of it. Get the F over yourself. Actually, oh my God, yes. No,
I tried to say it. I tried to say
I was
it.
already, oh my God.
In the back chat, I put the link for those two things.
Oh, thank you. Oh,
For
see, I should have done this a long time ago.
Yeah, it's cooperation.
I'm my worst enemy, I swear. I'm like, Donna, will you pull these clips? And anyways, and I'm like, I don't ever ask. And she's like,
You
I
should
wish you
ask.
would. Yeah. Just, you know what I mean? I'm such a hard ass. It's not on purpose. It's just me. But I appreciate that. Totally. So the ones that Donna just pulled up, this is the juror interviews on a Utah news station. And then, okay. So oh, shit. Uh-oh. Okay. I'm like, oh God, did I just lose a stream? No. I think it's my first day. Oh, God. What am I doing? Oh, hold on. I'll rewind it.
Yeah, as far as evidence.
I'm sure y'all watched it.
And I feel like we uncovered some lies. So
I'm like, have you though? Wait till you see the rest.
For 2 children in Idaho.
I haven't had a chance to Google everything. I'm sure as soon as we get on the shuttle. So might have more to say later.
Was that difficult going through this and not being able to be disconnected?
Yeah. It just felt like there was a lot of information that didn't make sense and that was missing.
Do you think she did herself any favors by defending herself?
No.
You were not impressed with her lawyering skills?
No.
What did you think of her behavior during cross-examination, the way that at one moments she was argumentative with some of the witnesses?
I mean, many days she just was like smiling and laughing and didn't seem to take anything very seriously.
Were you hoping to hear how much of that did that play into a factor in your decision?
It did.
Were you hoping to hear her testify? Were you
Yes, I was.
And what about you?
I didn't understand why she didn't call me witnesses.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
Or why she didn't have I know she made a statement about the only family that was interviewed was her estranged brother, and why wasn't her parents or her sister? But yet she didn't call them. So
I mean, in saying that, she is not obligated to prove her innocence.
Exactly. Yeah.
It was so good to hear all
that
this.
benefit of the doubt. She would recognize she didn't have to put on.
She knew.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
absolutely, she knew.
Was the fact that she didn't put up a defense or take the stand in her own defense part of your deliberation at all?
No.
Not supposed to be.
Did it
It was
affect-
all evidence. It was all evidence that was
Yeah.
produced and presented to us.
Sorry if this was asked. What would you say the biggest piece of evidence for you guys as a jury was when you came to the decision?
Well, for me, like her, it was text.
The
Sex
text
with damning.
history.
What,
Text history.
what specifically about the text?
Oh, there were so many.
You can do that at night.
Like I've said this to Jason many times. I don't know if I know I've said it here, but you know, we all say a lot of things a lot of times, but I always am a stickler for her words, their words. I don't know if y'all noticed, but I use their words and I implement them every chance I can. It's like I don't know, it's like holding them accountable via their words. I don't know, just I mean, and it's so easy to do with Lori, and the more she talks, the easier it is, you know, because she gets enough out there, and it's enough to convict on your own words, and I think that is golden. You know, nothing better than that. It's a good old case of karma, and you know you can't get away with this. You're not just going to continue to run amok and terrorize people and murder them. You're not going to do that. Okay. So it's like, all right. But anyways, let me finish.
Yeah, there was.
I mean,
there
we
was
had
two of them for
Paige
me that really stood out.
Can you
Which
tell
one?
us which ones?
The Nephi.
It's been
Yeah, that was one of them. Soon you will be Nephi, and so will I. So that was one of them. But I don't know if I should say anything more.
We heard so much about dark spirits and religion and how this all plays into it. I mean, as a jury, what's going through your head when you start hearing that in court?
For me, that didn't really play a big role because you have to have evidence of conspiracy, and that is not evidence of conspiracy.
Was it
somebody is
Was it
possessed?
unusual for you guys to? I mean, you're talking about her brother Alex, the guy who actually that was the triggerman. So many players were referenced in this trial, and you never saw them, and never heard
Correct.
from them. That had to be confusing when
It
you
was
guys got
very
back in the
confusing.
jury room. Yeah.
Yeah, it was very confusing.
What did how
It just
I
felt
mean, like, how many of y'all? I was so confused as to how this was going to play out. Like, for the life of me, I could not imagine. I can't separate things. I think I heard Colby say this the other day, and I was like, "Good, I'm not by myself." You know, like Megan, she's really good at summarizing things. It's not in my wheelhouse whatsoever. It missed me. And especially all this, like they all just run in together. And when we went to Idaho, I was like, how are they going to keep all that out? And then a lot of the information we had was actually from Arizona at that point because of the FOIA request that had, been shared by the Chandler and Gilbert Police Department. So that was quite a vast amount of information. And then I was like, once we were done in Idaho, I was like, well, now how are they going to, all this 404B over here? What's the purpose of the 404B? Is it just to convict in that state? I mean, I guess I'm answering my own questions a little bit. So the dark talk wasn't part of the conspiracy, but we got rid of Ned was. This guy needs to shut it. 15. Shh. Change your number. Anyways. It's just interesting to see how these all are interconnected, how they filter through them. Like we were in the middle of trial for this one, for Uncle Charles. And I was like, so maybe they're not, I was thinking this, like maybe they're not playing the body cam footage of Charles because I was thinking mental health issues, the mental health stuff, because Lori, there was a motion that she had, or whatever, she motioned it. I don't know. She brought it up in the pre-trial hearings. It was like one of the first ones as she was becoming whatever, representing herself. And so I remember, and so I haven't even revisited to even kind of go back and forth, even though now I know it would be hearsay, which is crazy to me. Like to me, in my opinion, that just seems a little weird. I understand he's not here to be cross-examined or, at all to breathe. I mean, you see what I'm saying? Like he's not here because of the alleged, the defendant's alleged murder. Okay, the heinous act of violating somebody's human rights to even live. So it's just like, really? I mean, I could see if it, like for Tylee and Alex, I can understand that. But it's like, this is the victim in this case, like let him talk. So I found that even more fascinating that none of these jurors really heard Uncle Charles's voice or really saw him, right? Yeah. Besides, and evidence photos, at his most vulnerable moment, which I mean, I understand, but I mean, oh my God, it just is so bizarre to me. Not bad, just I don't have any more adjectives. So, like, I don't know. This trial I have found very fascinating as to how this works. It's got me. Okay. I was not a trial person, or as you can tell, I'm really not still. I'm still not. But this time it's like I paid attention and I was aware of jurors and the importance of their job. And I had no self-awareness of this at all in the first trial. I was like, okay, yeah, I remember seeing Tom. I do. I remember like looking over and he was I mean, every time I saw him, I would see that he was always paying attention to where, the family was sitting, which I wasn't there. I wasn't in the courtroom that much. I can't handle it. It's too tense for me. Thank you, Fancy Nancy. If Becky Hill didn't cause a mistrial, not worried about this guy. Loho can out from jail for the rest of her sorry life. I think I saw somebody's comment earlier. They said, yeah, Lori can get out of prison when she goes to hell. I was like, well, damn, why don't you tell us how you really feel, which I thought it was pretty good. I know a good slam when I see one. Even thank you again, Fancy Nancy. Even through all the confusion, the jurors found Lori guilty. Yeah. And it's like without all of the stuff. And so I can't imagine, because we've been living this. And so it's very hard for me to even imagine and wrap my head around how, like I kept saying during the trial, like the jurors are going to get hit by a Daybell bus when they are right here, when they're finding out about the rest of the story, why Tylee wasn't there, why JJ wasn't there, why Tammy wasn't there, or you know what I'm saying? What happened to all these people, and then Joe as well, and then Alex too. I'm not advocating for Alex. Okay, he got a family of his own that can do that. That's not me. Whatever. He helped kill kids. I'm good. So I bet a lot of them now heard him and seen he was completely failed by law enforcement officers. Yeah. I just Tasha's my favorite. I gotta say, I'm not trying to be, I mean, she's the most outspoken. She seems well spoken. I don't know. I've watched her even on Fax Me That. I finally got the damn name right. Podcast. I don't know. She did really good. And she was on with Justin Lum, and then, with Nate here. Let me play this. Okay. Or I'll sit here and just talk.
Like there was so much of the story that was missing.
So much. Did she have any valid arguments? Like anything that made you think maybe she's not guilty?
I'll pull it up. Hold on.
Do you want to answer? I can't think of any.
Honestly, up until
pull this down
yesterday, I
just
was
for now.
guilty, but when the prosecutor I don't know, what do they call that? When they give when they
Their
say
closing
yeah.
argument.
Yeah, it's the closing
Connected
argument.
the
That's
dots.
really, there's
Closing
a few
arguments.
things she said in there. And then when I looked them up today, I was like, oh, yeah, that's bad.
You were still on the fence yesterday.
I was yesterday, yes.
Give us a sense of what it was like to be in that jury room. Was there a point that someone was disagreeing, saying that maybe she is not guilty?
Yes.
Were you guys
There's
all-
a couple.
And what was it like?
It's wild to me. I'm just like, what?
It's just a matter of, adults working things out and going through all the evidence and figuring out,
Thank God.
what we thought, what we were going to come
Yes.
to. So,
To learn now that everyone that was in that house that day, minus Daybell, is all not with us anymore, is dead or has been killed. I mean, what is that like to hear as jurors walking out?
So crazy.
Sad.
it is.
Like
think
I
he's
kept
scared
wanting to hear from
Talk.
Tylee.
And then he,
I was going to ask, is anybody wondering why Tylee wasn't testifying?
Yes.
You were.
Did you ever ask the judge why aren't they here?
No. And the one witness that really got to me was hearing Kay. I was holding back my emotions.
wow.
Okay, what kind?
I've seen this a couple
I
times, y'all,
looked
and I'm
at
just,
Kay, I saw her
wow.
smile, and I was just like, I just want to hug her.
You should have.
Yeah, well, I can on the way out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They wouldn't let you?
no, we had strict instructions.
Well, let's go find her, girl.
Well,
The texts, absolutely the text. There were two texts and there was some footage of, at one point she said she ran out of the house, and you know what it's like to run out of the house with bare feet when it's 112 degrees. Or when it's in July, but then when she went to the store to buy flip-flops.
Where are
she showed her
those
walking
black
in
flip-flops?
with them on.
Why?
So there was a lot of little things that didn't add up, but I think the text was the main thing I think turned all of us. For some people, it was the shoes. For a couple of them, it was she claimed she wasn't wearing shoes when she left the house. Yet when she showed up at Walgreens or CVS or whatever, she was wearing them. And then went in and bought 2 pairs, and for some reason, chipped off the ones she was wearing and put the new ones on. So that was just odd. But I think she's just she's guilty. It's just that simple.
Dang
Carl,
right.
you were saying about the shoes. Why would that be the thing that kind of was important to you guys? Did that signify to you premeditation? Is that
No, it does not, or it doesn't signify conspiracy or anything like that. What it signifies is she wasn't being truthful.
and so that's what got to you is if she lied about this, what else is
Right,
there?
Exactly. Yeah, she just
So many things. You've got a little minute.
What were your thoughts on the gunshots, on going through kind of that crime scene? What did that have an impact on you?
Well, if it was self-defense, if you shoot somebody through the heart, or if you just shoot somebody and they end up on the ground and you shoot them again when they're not a threat to you, it's
Right.
not legal. So, but that's all Alex. That has nothing to do with her or conspiracy. That was my biggest thing is throughout the whole deliberation was if somebody said anything, I said, okay, but how does that prove that she conspired to
Wait,
kill
let me go back and listen to this one more time.
What were your thoughts on the gunshots, on going through kind of that crime?
If the conspiracy wouldn't have gone into effect, if it wouldn't have been discussed between co-conspirators, then the gunshot would not have happened. We wouldn't have any of this other racket. It's like we wouldn't be talking about life insurance. We wouldn't be talking about Ned. We wouldn't be talking about all of the thraka that came along with the hooker. And maybe I'm wrong in this, but it's like we kind of go off on like outside of the conspiracy. Like that is the conspiracy to commit murder, to kill, to confederate, to further along that agreement between 2 or more, right? Where 2 or more are gathered, huh?
See what did that
Oh, and that's another thing I noticed that I know in Mormonism, and so I'm not going to say this gracefully because I don't. I don't. I don't know how. But I do remember that, and I mean, I've seen this. I know it's important for Mormons to have, more witnesses. I remember hearing Julie Rowe talk about, how they'll say, oh, I can attest to that. Oh, I can testify to that. There's always somebody there to back them up with that extra witness, so to speak. So it's just interesting. Kind of like with Summer and Lori and Barry and Janice and Melanie Boudreaux, when they allegedly all go to preparing a people conference, and each one of them, it seems they said, and I don't remember where this came from. So just, I know I've shared it here before. I just don't remember exactly where this came from, but where it's like this person had to go and, be a support for Lori. Then Melanie went to be a support for Summer. And then Janice went to be a support for Melanie. I'm just like, why y'all need so much damn support? Like, what's going on? Can you go anywhere without support? Do you have to follow anyone? I'm really legitimately asking. Stop following people. It's a little strange and needy, or I don't know. I don't know yet. And maybe that sounded really, really mean. I don't mean it to. It just is a little odd. I'm just not from this arena, obviously. Okay, so I'm going to pull that comment up and share it here. Let me make sure. Yeah, making sure y'all can see. So this is from, and this is interesting, right? So interesting. But so this is from Summer Cox Shiflett, not to me, but let's see where it was posted. Facebook, I don't know. Looks like it. Another one. I realize Lori is the draw and the money maker, and she will probably do as many interviews as she can while in AZ because they allow it. But it could not be more painful and offensive to continuously hear her blame Tylee for everything. Tylee is not the catalyst that led to Charles's death. Lori was the catalyst. Tylee was innocent. Tylee was an innocent victim and should be respected and treated as such. And since I am venting about this, I will add what a double standard. Oh, Lord, if I had earrings on, I'm just saying. Whew. I will add what a double standard it is to prosecute Lori for conspiracy against Brandon and Charles, but not Chad. They have basically the same evidence against both of them. Some say it's because Chad got DP, or because Lori may get an appeal for her previous conviction. Okay. Are you manifesting it? I mean, what's going on there? Or because Lori may get an appeal for her previous conviction, or the victims deserve justice, etc. I've heard several reasons, but at the end of the day, they both committed these crimes together. So they should either both be held accountable or both go away for the rest of their lives. But again, Lori is the draw. This is awesome right here. She has been very good for the true crime economy. And as long as she keeps interviewing, the money will keep on flowing. Okay, I'm just gonna hold because I mean I've got my comments ready, but I want to hear some of yours. Mine is. I'm trying to see yours first. First, his phone was on and caused a bunch of background noise that sounded like ghost. Then was texting his daughter and Oh, you're talking about your number. I'm like, what the hell, girl? What'd you see? Hey, Jean Marie, how are you? Also about Chud being her bestie. Every Mormon knows a woman cannot have a male best friend. Totally taboo, especially while you're married, huh? Right? There's that. There are so many things. So many things. This is where I was. I'm like, okay, CrimeCon. Okay, CrimeCon. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, CrimeCon. Okay, double speak. Again, double speak. Again. I mean, it's an echo chamber from hell, because it's like, we don't need you to tell any of us. I don't know who needs to get their mind right. Nobody believes Lori. Okay. So thank you for standing up for Tylee. Why didn't you do it in Idaho when she freaking needed you? And then why? I'm not trying to be an asshole. Okay. I'm just, spade a spade, a spade. um, it's just like, where were you? Where were you? Instead, the day that, Lori, yo sister, moneymaker, Daybell, whenever she was convicted in Idaho, you didn't show up, Summer. You didn't show up and speak in behalf of your niece that you were, whatever. I don't even know the proper terminology, appointed, okay? Recognized, acknowledged, some aunts on the other side could say. Must be nice. Must be nice. Yeah. Anyways, but I'll always be right here, anyways, so it's just like the other thing. Well, there's many, right? I realize Lori is the draw and the moneymaker. And so my thing about the interviews is that it makes it harder to hold Lori accountable in a court of law, where if she wasn't able to release her steam, so to speak, if she wasn't able to preach her version of whatever the hell this she thinks it is, of reality, right? Because reality for her victims are that they are not here. They have not been here since 2019 because she waxed them all. Okay. Her and her Mormon lover. Okay. So, that she was cheating on my uncle with, but accusing him of cheating on her, hookers and everything. I remember, I think Janice is the one that was like, even if he's cheating with hookers or something like that. I'm just like, oh Lord. Anyway, so it's just like, what? Like, I don't need Summer to tell me, not to blame Tylee, like just to exonerate Tylee. And especially, I understand. I think we've all become very protective over Tylee, I mean, because it's a freaking shit show, and it's evil. It's so freaking diabolical. I don't know any other person. Of course, I've not looked, but I just have never seen it to this level of just, I don't even know what to call it, y'all. It's disgusting. It's, I mean, can we swap can we put Lori, on death row, and we'll put Chad, having 5 life without paroles, before conviction here, she's still got to get sentenced for Charles, and then she's still, because she'll be convicted again. I have full faith in that. So she'll get a, sentence there too. So anyways, I know it's just nothing burgers basically, but it's just like, out of all the things that you could say, none of this exonerates you, Summer. I mean, here you still have a picture of you and Tylee, which I appreciate. I get it. But at the fucking gun range, at the shooting range, can we just let it go? I don't mean that in a weird MK Ultra Frozen term, okay? I'm just saying, can we let it the hell go with the effing shooting range that your brother is obviously a shit shot? Thank you, Jesus. Don't get Edgar after me, okay, girl? Anyways. Oh, they better be better make it look like an accident. Anyways. Oh my gosh. So anyway, I was just thinking I could go on and on with that, because I'd be like, oh, I changed my beneficiary, don't shoot me. Anyways, it's not appropriate, but it's aggravating. It's very aggravating, but it could not be more painful. That's probably more it, given the pawn, like, let me leave that alone. And let me just kind of, anyways, I'm not trying to have a LDS posse on me or anything, but it could not be more painful and offensive to continuously hear her blame Tylee for everything. Tylee is not the catalyst that led to Charles's death. No shit. I mean, go look in the mirror. Okay, because Summer was asking to, do you want me to go? I'll go shoot him myself. And that was just Charles. That was for Brandon. Whoa, that was for Brandon, I do believe. Oh shit, I forgot. Hold on. We're about to find out. Because, that's a biggie, that's a biggie. I'm trying to think. It was the Tesla. It was the Tesla text. Okay, here it is. Oh, let me pull this document up real quick. Come on. You got time. Okay. Let's see. Just waiting. That's what I do. Oh, God. Okay. All right. Just open the damn thing. No, I'm not ready to grow. Holy cow, that is huge. How many of you said that's what she said? Okay. Haha. All right. Let me look it up. All right. Shoot. I don't know. That's probably not a good keyword to look at a document of attempted murder. Is it just one page? No. Okay. Come on. Come on. Come on, Cletus. Let me do Summer. No, let me put Summer. How about that? Come on. Why is it not working? Well, this is lame. What the hell? I mean, they did nothing. Let me play this damn other interview while I sit here and have technical difficulties with everything else. I'll be right. Oh, shoot. Okay. Didn't mean to do that. I think we were about, I don't know. Here?
Day of testimony, the prosecution going through that detailed timeline. Did that help you?
Yes. Yeah. Timelines always help, but just seeing those two texts it just sealed it for me personally and for others.
And the two texts were the Ned before we got rid of him and the 2 bullets through his body, through his heart. Those are the ones?
No, that was the first one. And the second one was, it had something to do with life insurance.
The question about the life insurance. Yeah. Okay, Carl, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And your decision
Thanks,
today.
Carl.
One of the biggest factors was probably when we were sitting there, whenever they would ask a question about the Mormon stuff and all that, she would just kind of look at us and smile and smirk. So it kind of gave it away for a lot of it. Just kind of didn't really care.
What were those conversations like in the jury room? I mean, going back and forth when everyone was deliberating. You kind of put us inside that room with you?
Let's see. It was kind of, so a lot of us already knew. A couple of us just needed the extra, we needed to re-look back through the evidence, the text messages and all that. So it was a little bit of back and forth, but all of us were pretty sure we already knew what we wanted.
Was there one piece of evidence that really convinced you she was guilty?
Probably when she said that he was Ned before they got rid of him.
That was such a big one.
That was probably the part where we were like, okay, now it's real.
Did you ever wonder why Tylee wasn't testifying as a witness?
Yes. We didn't really have much to say about it though, because we didn't really know anything, why she didn't, stuff like that.
And do you understand now that every other witness that was there that day is now dead?
Yes.
When did you learn that?
At the end, when we first were walking out, everyone was talking about it, and we got told to look up her previous stuff so that we were aware.
And in that jury room, this woman's been convicted of 3 homicides. You guys didn't know that. You were unaware. None of you guys knew that.
Correct. Yeah.
No.
Yep.
And then hearing all the missing pieces in the
I
trial.
missed the guy
people
saying
who
that
didn't
again.
testify.
The other one.
There were a lot of
Always
holes when you went into the jury room.
Yeah.
That were not explained to you. That must have made it more difficult.
It did, which is why we went back through everything just to make sure we didn't miss anything. To make sure that we were 100% on what we were choosing to do.
Appreciated.
Was there anything that made you think she might not be guilty?
There should be no silence.
No.
When you went back to the deliberation room, were there any jurors that were uncertain and some that were certain? Where did you start? What was the foundation?
Oh,
for
not that
deliberation?
part. I was thinking something else. My bad.
I think probably 10 out of 12 of us were certain. The other two, we helped them go back to what they needed to learn to kind of make up their mind. And then, yeah, we just kind of went from there.
Did you guys look at any additional evidence once you were back there? Because I know that not all of the evidence was presented in court, and they said there was additional. Lori asked you to watch the entire interview, for example,
Yes.
and Trina K invited you to do the same. Did you guys do any
We
of that?
did. That was actually one of the first things we did because what we saw was only clippets. And going back through it,
This
it was
is
actually
awesome.
kind of the whole interview that was like that. She asked us to watch the whole thing, but the whole thing was pretty much those clippets, other than her laughing, smiling about. She was kind of just at peace. Like she was just sitting there, her legs were crossed. She was sitting all the way up on the seat with no shoes on, just her legs were crossed like she was in her own home.
Lori made a big deal out of being called nonchalant or calm throughout the entire trial. Didn't think it was really fair. Was that something that affected you guys? Her calmness or nonchalantness?
Yes.
Nonchalantness.
Being that calm when everything happened, it's not something that you would normally be calm about. You'd expect to be sad, asking how your brother's doing, since he was the one that got injured during it too. She didn't do any of that. She was just, she already knew it happened, and she just went with it like that.
Did you want her to testify?
I guess I don't know. Yes, seeing Charles's sister's reaction when they did say she pled guilty was really relieving. It made all of us feel really good that they got justice.
Can we get your first and last name?
Natasha Smith.
Natasha Smith.
Also known as Tosh Reed Tucker, though.
Tosh Reed Tucker?
Yes.
I found that.
TASS.
Finishing
And then
this
my
out.
last name is Reed Tucker, REED-Tucker.
Do you plan to go watch a bunch of stuff about this case now, or?
Yes. I believe we're told that there's a Netflix documentary, and you can basically just Google it. Everything will pop up. So that's probably what I'm going to do when I get home.
You're going to die.
Yeah. Yes,
And you
thank
really didn't know anything about this case coming on as a juror?
No, and I told my grandma that I got
I was nervous right here.
requested for jury, and she asked if I know anything about it. I told her the name, and her jaw dropped. Like I was supposed to know who she was. Like she thought it was insane that I didn't know what was happening. But I just moved here 2 years ago as of March, so I didn't really know anything to begin with. But my grandma did, and she thought I was just crazy for not knowing.
Where'd you live previously?
Minnesota.
And so your grandmother was able to keep a tight lip on
She
things?
did, yes, she did.
A fun discussion with
Yeah,
her.
yeah, and I actually see her tonight too because my mom just flew in from Minnesota, so I'm gonna go see them after this, and we're probably gonna
For her
watch it.
sister's graduation. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, oh Lord. I mean, it's just as like a lot for us to all take in too, as much as it is for the next person, I guess. I mean, it takes me a while. Like I have to go and y'all, I was so over, like my brain was overloaded. What was it, Tuesday? Which y'all know Lori loves Tuesdays, remember? Satan Taco Tuesday. Oh, and she was like, so the fact that it was her verdict came back on a Tuesday is just, those are those little moments. I'm just like, thank you. I mean, since it won't count for her, she's still saying that crap. And I wanted, oh gosh, Michelle, oh my gosh. Thank you. I need it. Okay, I'm going here, and that's where the starred comments are. And thank you. You just pooped on? Girl, don't poop on. You better poop off. Just thinking. You popped on quickly to buy you a beer, my friend. Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. And then I know my poop from Pop. I can't tell you that. Thank you for the laugh, okay? And the beers. Okay. Appreciate it. And just don't poop yourself. That's the goal for all of us here. Oh man. I appreciate that. I needed the laugh for sure. Oh, hey, thank you, Miss Brenda. Thank you so very much. I appreciate that too. Y'all are making me blush. Appreciate it. What was I talking about? Oh, I'm still spacey. Can you tell? I'm super spacey. I'm just trying to follow my train of thought. Today's just been one of those days where I'm like, Jason, I can't. I'm like, my squirrel's like, hey, I can't help it. It's one of those days. So I'm just trying to give myself grace. You pooped, girl, right? You think Lori's in shock? Or I don't think Lori feels anything anymore. I really don't. I'm just like, I don't know who that woman is. Oh, you think Tosh was in shock? I mean, it has to be very overwhelming. Very overwhelming. I think I heard Tosh is from International Falls in Minnesota. That's practically in Canada. They get brutal winters. I was born and raised in Minneapolis. Well, I don't. What's a good saying for Minneapolis so I can, make a fool out of myself and say it. You know, we have our sayings here as a coon ass from Louisiana. In the heel of the boot. In the toes of the boot, y'all, they talk straight coon ass. I'm like, what'd y'all say? What'd you just say? We're gonna go up the bayou? That means Walmart. If they say up the bayou, you're like, oh, okay, we're going to Walmart. Alrighty. Let me get my card in my purse and my keys. All right. I worked the oil spill there during the oil spill in Grand Isle, Louisiana, and they were coon asses. Okay, coon asses. Cannot understand what they're saying half the time, and I'm from here. But I'm telling you, I live in Lake Charles, which is really close to Texas, Southeast Texas, Beaumont, and then it's really close to Cameron. Like we have parishes here because we're weird. We're unique. I don't know. Y'all are the lower 95. We the top 5%. That's a Barry quote. Anyways, whatever. But so we're like 30 minutes from the coast, from the Gulf Coast, and I'd say about the same distance from Texas. But then you go 30 minutes east, like to Jennings, Louisiana, and it goes from, my last name used to be Trahan, and they say Trahan, and I'm like, whoa, it's Trahan, I always got the Trahan, which I always thought sounded so weird. Definitely wasn't, I was never used to that. In LaPorte, oh yeah, love my coon ass neighbors. Well, I say shy, I say shy, baby. Oh, your mom. Oh, hey, Linda, girl, I was reading your comment and not looking at your name. Hey, girl, what are you doing? This is one of my mom's I won't say oldest, but I'll say dearest friends. Well, aren't you from an M state? I don't remember. I always get my M states mixed up. Okay, don't laugh. I used to have all the states and capitals memorized and the presidents. Long time ago, but see where my memory's at now. How you been? I remember that. I remember y'all painting. Wow, that was so long ago. It's so crazy. I'm old. I'm so old now. You know what though? This was going to be the third year in a row. Not that I celebrate my birthdays anymore because of this sucker pretty much. And I'm getting old, but the last two were trials. That my birthday is May 3rd, and we were in trial, and I was just like, oh, thinking this one will be the third trial in a row. And it's not, because her case wasn't as big as hers thought it was, which was pretty awesome to see as well. I hope you're doing good. You ever want to come on, you just let me know, girl. I'll give you a link and come on and talk anytime. Oh, I bet my husband's cousins from down south Louisiana had to take a speech therapy for her job because her accent was so thick. She must have been from Chalmette or somewhere around there. My Aunt Chris, y'all, she's married to my Uncle Bobby. And I'm like, I have to kind of follow what she says. She's from New Orleans, Chalmette. I say Chalmette. It's just pretty coon ass there. But, and yeah. I'm so glad y'all are here. I just want to talk. I'm just chit chatting. Why is everybody popping in and popping out, girl? 2:25 a.m. your time, lagging with my eyes. Well, I'm so glad you came by. So glad. Thank you so much. You could spend your time anywhere, but you chose here. So I'm sorry and thank you. Have a good night. We'll see you next time. Hello, Sue. Brennan is Boudreaux. Y'all, some people are still saying his name wrong. I'm going to have to get some Boudreaux and Thibodeau jokes to endure the trials with humor. And not, it's a Louisiana thing. I swear. This was before Brennan Boudreaux came along ever. It's Boudreaux and Thibodeau, and they got a bunch of those kind of jokes. So I'll have to look some up and share them with y'all. I think he would appreciate it. Oh, thank you, Sheila. I appreciate you. Thank you, y'all, for being so nice. Always. Michigan. Thank you. Thank you. I knew it was a M. If we're whatever that's worth. Or is that back where you're at? I mean, don't tell me exactly where you're at because I don't want to dox you. But I'm so glad you're here. The mitten. Okay. Well, they got the mitten in the boot. My God. It reminds me. Never mind. I'll have to have my best friend on here one day. And y'all probably wouldn't understand if we did talk because look, the other night, me and her were on the phone. And so this case, Lori's crimes have, like, when I say they shocked my entire being, they did. My uncle's really, because that's the one. I mean, when I found out that he was murdered, like when my mom explained on the stand, and I didn't realize this, when my mom was on the stand in this trial and she was going over recounting how she found out, which I mean, I knew about, but where hers drops off, mine picks up because that's when I learned about how my uncle, was killed, dead, murdered. It was really hard. I don't know. It was just, I mean, it's not like I didn't spend all the time with him. It's not, we weren't super close. But it bothered me. But he had been coming around, him and JJ, they had been coming in, and I got to see him a lot more often. I do remember this. I think I've shared it here before, but and I remember him. So me and Jason, I worked for my parents' company. They had, it was called Coastal Crew Change, and it's a transportation company, and they service the oil industry. And so, I mean, it was 24/7, 365, crazy, always going. They had a fleet of vehicles. They had buses, oh my gosh. Now, a 56 passenger bus, a 32 passenger bus, they had different sizes for different needs. They were usually all white vehicles. I remember sometimes having to drive the Crown Vics, and I mean, right? They're like cop cars or mama cars. And I'm just like, everybody would just move out of your way. And I like that. And that was pretty cool because they think you're a cop, at least here in Louisiana. But I don't know. Just I've worked office jobs. I've worked as an airplane mechanic apprentice. I've worked all kinds of jobs. I never knew what I wanted to be when I grew up. And I mean, this was still until my uncle's murder. And then it's like that went away and it just prioritized itself. It's like everything just was like, okay, family's important. Okay. You can't just, it just, I don't know. I don't know how else to explain it besides it prioritized things for me. And just nothing it wasn't a question anymore. Things that were important were up here and things that were not, they fell away. And that the old me, the Kresha before July 11th, 2019. Basically that version of me. I can't recall that. I can little bits and pieces, but this case was horrendous, and to watch my parents and just all the things that just we were going through at home. Jason was going through with his health. That's when his health issues started. I read a text last night that I'd sent on February 18th to my brother. And I mean, I detailed everything that the surgeon had told me. Whenever Jason came out of his surgery, he had a thoracotomy, and I didn't even know what that entailed. And so Mom, I remember her saying something along the lines of, Krisha, do you realize how big that's huge. A thoracotomy is major. And I was just like, I just was so sucker punched. Like, how whenever a cartoon, they bang their head or whatever and it's got the stars, that's what it felt like. And it was like a whole year or more of that blur. And there are times whenever it can be like that. Like I have no concept of time. And I'm sure most of you have figured that out. And it's like, I'm not here to I'm not doing it to be inconsiderate or disrespectful. It's just, I have no concept of the time. I don't know. It's really, I don't know. I need to go see a trauma therapist and work through this. But today is extra bad. So I'm like stuttering and talking slow and fumbling over my words. But anyway. Oh, what happened, Trace? What the hell, Trace? Oh, good old Maricopa County Sheriff's Department has 4 vehicles here. Girl, they run in packs. Girl, you need to get you a life alert button and just, yeah. And it'll be like Thundercat, ho, and then we'll run over there and get you. Okay. Just kidding. I hope everything's okay. I mean, did you call them or are they just there at a neighbor's house or something? That's the difference in growing up. Y'all, I grew up in a trailer park. Whenever the cops come, everybody's outside. If it happens in a nice neighborhood, everybody's in their damn panic rooms. It's so different. But I hope everything's okay. I'm just nervous chatter right now. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you could see it in Summer's damn face for sure. She can't even hide it. She was, let's pull that up. Thank you for bringing that up. I mean, why not? Why the hell not? That's what we're here for. Janice. I never know how to spell her damn name. If it's Janice or with a S. I don't remember. Janice Cox. Summer. Shish. Okay. Hurry up. Okay. Yeah.
Have a goal.
All right, as long as you're rolling, no idea.
So we're just gonna do our goal. Tell the truth.
Yeah, I'm rolling.
And you've had.
Hold on a second.
Why do you think it's important to sit down and do this interview?
I think it's important because Lori has been portrayed.
Look, I'm already wanting to stop it. That's bad, huh? I'm like, isn't this what your sister was doing? Isn't this what your sister's doing right now? I mean, instead of actually directly, maybe reaching out to my mom or I don't know, maybe not just being so wrinkly. Sorry, I'm gonna get my own karma for that. Okay, so sometimes you just gotta go there. Sometimes you just gotta go there. Okay, it's therapeutic, but yeah. Let me
particular way in the media this far as a monster,
not
heartless
ready today.
villain that's just after money, and that couldn't be further from the truth of who she really is. I
The evidence will show.
think it's unfair that she's been treated the way that she has been, and I'm really hoping that by us speaking out that people might soften their hearts a little bit towards her and help
I
see that
haven't.
she's really a loving, sweet, warm person. And she's more beautiful
Love.
on the inside than she is on the outside. She's just a
Let's hope.
loving, wonderful person.
How difficult has this been for you?
It's probably the worst thing that has ever happened in our family. I hate to see it like this. I know the truth about Lori. I know how loving she is. I don't have the answers about the children. I love those two kids with all my heart. Tylee and JJ, they're two of the loves of my life. And I know that Lori has always protected them. If everyone knew how far she had gone to protect them, their whole lives. I don't know where the children are, but she felt like she was keeping them safe. That's the impression she gave us.
You're her mom, and she cut off communication, and you
Allegedly.
don't know where your grandchildren are. That's gotta seem strange.
It does, but she said, I'm not going to be able to tell you everything. She did have some major fears that were real to her. She didn't share them all with me. She felt like in her mind that she was protecting us in her mind.
In her
but
mind?
It didn't turn out that way.
In her
I
mind.
did talk to a friend of hers in Hawaii that was a mutual friend, and she said she was going to see her at church. Lori was going to go to church in Kauai. And I said, well, if you talk to her, tell her that
Of course, Lori and Chud were going to go to church. I mean, who else would go on a spree of murder? I mean, a murderous spree. Okay, just straight up rampage, rapid succession, a domino effect, if you will. Lori actually uses that same terminology that Julie Rowe has used, the dominoes. So has Zalema in their text messages. What? Oh yeah. I remember. I can't blow it up. Well, yeah, I can, but I'm whatever. I'm just gonna blow it up, and then you can make if it'll even go. It's not boogie check, boogie cam. Okay, right nostril. Like I said, when you stick your nose up in the damn hair, we can see your boogers more clearly. Just tell your friends, okay, at church.
her mom thinks she should put the kids in a room with today's date, take a picture, and send it to the police.
You can't.
Please, that's my advice as her mother. That would solve a lot of problems.
Why won't she do it?
I don't know. And to me, that's what I would do.
Summer, do you think that she is guilty of the things that she
on,
is
girl.
accused of?
Here we go.
No, I don't. Not even a little bit. I know for a fact that she did not conspire to kill Charles in any way, shape, or form.
I hope like hell. Oh, well, wait, Summer. I wonder if whenever they were trying to deliver your subpoena, if you just like didn't, answer the door, maybe some avoidance, I don't know. Just wondering why you didn't testify for your sister since you knew for a fact.
To me, that's what I would do.
Summer, do you think that she is guilty of the things that she is accused of?
No, I don't. Not even a little bit.
She's calculated.
I know for a fact that she did not conspire to kill Charles in any way, shape, or form.
Are you there?
I spent a lot of time with Lori and Alex leading up to Charles' death, and I know that there was never any kind of discussion like that about it. Charles texted probably 20 or 30 times, ranging from "I swear I'll be nice, please call me" to "Your end is coming soon."
He meant metaphorically, I'm sure, because my uncle wasn't violent. But, the evidence will show. It has shown.
So I saw a lot of threatening texts from him. If Alex hadn't been there, I think Lori and Tylee would have been on the news for a very different reason.
Right. And then who would have been there, after he did shoot Charles? Who would have been there, to say that Alex was a hero? I mean, whenever he attacked Joe Ryan, he said in his own stand-up comedy that he was expecting a freaking parade, So, I mean, he was plotting while he was in jail. It's so interesting. Lori's plotting while she's in prison. I wonder if Barry was writing his book while he was in prison for tax evasion. I mean, just the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, y'all. I can't believe I slept under the same roof with these people.
You asked Alex to go to the house that morning.
Yes, I did. I asked Alex the day before Charles was coming if he would please.
Exactly. That's conspiring, girl.
Please go stay with Lori. He said, Lori's going to be fine. She can call me if she needs me. And I said, please, I have a very sick feeling in my stomach. Please just go stay there. I was going out of town.
But yet Lori, I mean, now Lori did say in an interview, I don't know which one now because she's done 3, right? But in a recent interview, she said that I think it was just this one that was dropped by Arizona Family again, the post-conviction interview. And she said something along the lines, which, I mean, it'd take me forever to go find it, but that Summer and her mom were telling Lori, that, let me go pull it because I don't want to misquote it. So let's see. Okay. I actually had it pulled up. Can you believe that? I mean, I have this to go over with y'all anyways. It was, I have to go all the way up to the top. So this is an analysis of Lori Vallow. I'm going to just share this right now. Of Lori Vallow Daybell's post-conviction interview. Implications for prosecution strategy. Right? How will this help prosecution? Introduction. Context of the post-conviction interview. A. Overview of Lori Vallow Daybell's Arizona conviction. I'm sorry, I'm very literal. I'm reading all the freaking letters. Okay. Following weeks of testimony and approximately 3 hours of deliberation, which we found out was less than that, over 2 days, a Maricopa County jury found Lori Vallow Daybell guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder in the July 2019 death of her 4th husband, Charles Vallow. This conviction occurred against the backdrop of LVD already serving multiple life sentences without the possibility of parole in Idaho. Those sentences stem from her 2023 convictions for the murders of her 2 youngest children, 16-year-old Tylee Ryan and 7-year-old Joshua J.J. Vallow, and for conspiring in the death of Tammy Daybell, the first wife of LVD's 5th husband. She got too many husbands. I'm like, Chad Daybell. The Arizona verdict introduces the potential for another life sentence, further solidifying the legal consequences of the complex and tragic series of events surrounding her. So it's going to talk about Prosecutor Trina Kay's successful trial strategy, which I was just amazed by her. I really was. I didn't know who she was in the pretrial motion, like the pretrial hearings. She didn't stand out. I don't know. I was like, oh, that's the prosecutor. I'd heard about her, but it was so different in Idaho. You know, we saw Lindsay, we saw Rob, we saw Rachel. I didn't see Trina. It's like Arizona's like so busy and they just have it. It's so massive, you know, the area. And it's like Judge Boreski. I mean, he was like, yeah, all right, 2 weeks. Yeah, I haven't done it in a week. Jury selection, a week, a day. You know, I mean, I'm just like, wow. And it seems like in Idaho, the red carpet was rolled out, so to speak. And over here in Arizona, they're just like, next, you know, move. And I love that. I mean, I love that. I like both places. Don't get me wrong. So I'm just saying, I like how they treat her like next. But in Arizona, Lori gets to talk. Whereas in Idaho, at the detention center she's going back to spend the rest of her days, they don't allow interviews like that. Now, I think they might allow phone interviews. So everybody prepare yourself. We need to find that out for sure. I mean, just so we can kind of know what to expect. It's kind of like, it reminds me of whenever one of my best friends gave me a copy of What to Expect When You're Expecting, you know, when you're pregnant. So it's like what to expect whenever Hooker goes to prison once and for all. Just saying. So it says the prosecution led by Maricopa County Deputy Prosecuting Attorney Trina Kay secured the conviction by presenting a cohesive narrative centered on a criminal conspiracy between LVD, I'm just going to say LVD, and her now deceased brother, Alex Cox. Ms. Kay effectively argued that Charles Vallow's death was not an act of self-defense by Alex Cox, as Lori maintained, but rather a quote, planned out, premeditated murder. And this word shocked me a little bit, or execution. And like Lori never did object to any of that. She just, anyways, oh well, you snooze, you lose. Central to I can't do the Miss K's. Central to Kay's case were clearly articulated motives. The prosecution contended that Lori sought financial gain. Oh, you just heard Summer say that she's not about money. Specifically targeting Charles Vallow's $1 million life insurance policy. Lori was like, oh, I wasn't angry. Girl, that was me. Relaxed. I had to take one of Charles's Xanaxes and drink one of his smoothies. Joking in a very inappropriate way. I'm sorry. The desire to remove Charles as an obstacle to her relationship with Chad Daybell. They were BFFs. They were not lovers. James and Elena told us that. Lori and Chad did not tell us that they were having an affair. That was James and Elena. An author of apocalyptic religious fiction whom she married shortly after Tammy Daybell's death. I mean, we didn't bring up the damn Malachite wedding rings that she said were for Zalima and Alex, right? That was after her Dateline interview. She was like, oh, no. That was for Zalima, which is wrong. So Trina's like, okay, I'm not even going to bring that shit up, girl. I thought that was so interesting. It really was to me. I find it fascinating. Okay, so after Tammy, but she was shopping for wedding dresses, beachwear for Chad, and his ukulele. I wonder who paid for the ukulele. Never mind. They had to get it out of their clear plastic baggie full of cash, blood money. So nasty. Ms. K also emphasized Lori's twisted religious beliefs. I mean, this echoes what Judge Boyce said in Idaho, her bizarre religious rabbit hole that we've conquered it, I think, arguing they were used to justify the conspiracy and murder. Seems to be a pattern. These beliefs included designating individuals, including Charles, as dark spirits or zombies, with Charles allegedly being possessed by a spirit named Ned. We didn't get to hear from Iplos or Garrett. Remember those other two? Lori's belief in her own deity status and interpretations of religious texts to sanction killing. Yeah. Key evidence supporting this strategy included incriminating text messages exchanged between Lori, Alex, and Chad. Notably, a text from Lori to Alex Cox urging him to, quote, be like Nephi. It's just an uplifting message, judge, jury. I swear. It's just like, here's the encouragement. And in that interview she did with Arizona Family right after post-conviction, the translated being said she had been sleeping since trial. And I was like, translated beings don't sleep. What is going on? She is slipping. Because she said she was waxed. She was wiped out. Oh, man. So, yeah. So that was just a pep, that was just a encouragement. Okay. So she urged Alex to be like Nephi shortly before the murder. Was highlighted as evidence of premeditation and religious justification. The prosecution also pointed to significant timeline discrepancies. Oh, there are many. Particularly the 43 to 47 minute delay between the shooting and Alex Cox's 911 call. Lori put that off on. Now that is something, Lori did put that off on Alex in that interview. She said, I just assumed that he would have done that. It's like, anyway, I'm going to have to pull the transcript up in just a second, but, I mean, that's a biggie. Did y'all hear any of the jurors talk about this aspect, like the 43 to 47 minute, denial of calling for life support, life-saving measures? I hear you, Shauna. That's right. Let it off, y'all. I can't. I've got to try and my mom always taught me to, turn the other cheek, take the high road. And that's usually what I do. And I mean, I'm really not going outside of, what's true or my true feelings. I can feel it ain't against the law yet. I can share my own opinion. They do. They just get a bigger platform, and that is so cringe to me. So it really is cringe for Summer to say that, because she wasn't there in my opinion. I don't feel like Summer was there for her niece or her nephew, because ultimately I think this is just me. I've shared it before and I'm gonna share it again. My attitude has not changed on this. I see the evidence. I was not there, thank God. Okay. But it's pretty gross that Summer was there. Okay, with Alex, with Lori. She was there with Janice, with Pops, she was there. And she was there in the text messages. How severe? I have no idea. I ain't got to worry about that. I can sleep at night. Because I don't enable my twisted sister to go off the freaking rails like she did. And I mean, I know we can't control other people. I get it. I mean, however, I also don't have to participate. I don't have to be a bully because my sister's a bitch. I don't have to follow her because she said to. I mean, I don't have to be cool or not shunned. Like, that seems to be the thing. Shunned, ostracized. Lori did that kind of shit. She was one of those that would ice people out. I mean, just studying this case through the text messages and everything, she went straight, 72 days without any contact from her adopted son. Okay, I'm saying that very loosely. Her daughter, for a great bit of that. Too much of it, be with your damn kids, lady. I mean, she wants all the accolades, if you're going to use them as pawns. Anyways, oh my God. Yo, I got some healing to do. I really do. I'm being very immature right now. But it just really pisses me off when these people, when the Cox family behave the way that they do and have. And I'm still woman enough, and I'm still compassionate enough to say, I pray for you. I pray for you. Shame, shame. It's disgusting. Y'all need to maybe spend less time in the temple and at the pool, and maybe a little more time doing some self-reflection. Like read the damn room. Okay. Sometimes you're the asshole. It's sometimes I'm the asshole. It's okay. I didn't melt or anything. It's just called being real with yourself first. Quit lying to yourself, and then you won't project that onto everybody else because you're trying to be all perfect. Chew your food, eat it and swallow it. Okay. I'm here for it. Look, I swallow a little bit too much. Okay. That's all I'm saying. I don't know. I think the Jeep would be still with the police department. I don't know. Will that be? Yeah, that's be used as evidence. I think I have the whole Jeep up there. I don't know. I mean, I have the case photos of the Nissan Rogue. I have the case photos of Alex's truck. I have the case photos of Tylee's Jeep. I've got this whole case. Okay, I do have that. I can actually say that I have, the audios and Brandon in this case that we're going to now. I don't know what to call this except for Arizona 2. I don't know what else to call it. I don't know. We'll come up with something. But that's going to get a little interesting. I think it's a little confusing because 2 separate trials. She should have filed for joinder, you know, um, to have the cases joined. And it's always, and Lori puts it off on it's the state's fault. They're after me because I'm so special. This is the point I meant to bring up with everything else earlier about how there wouldn't, okay, if the conspiracy would not have hatched, if it wouldn't have been born, so to speak, if it would not have conspired between Lori and Alex and others. Chad, YouTube, we're giving you a shout out, fat ass. Okay. We ain't forgetting your chins, boy. Anyways, what a dupe. He is such a, ooh, y'all. Her blinders. She's ugly too. I used to think she was so pretty, and oh my god, y'all can slap me for that one. I'll take it. I'll admit it. I did that. I took it down. Oh no, I didn't. See, look, see here in the top right corner, it's behind your chat, and so I had made that because Colby, and if I could ever give it to him, but that's Peter Griffin, and that's Chad. Chud. Anyways, back to Uncle Charles. But if I could bring up this point about the conspiracy, and I'm trying to remember. Okay, Lori kept bringing up the damn $2 million. Okay, that does not exist. The evidence does not support that. Lore horror. It just it doesn't. Girl, it's called reality and where we live, and so and so I find it interesting because here she is projecting this whole thing about they're after me, for my $2 million insurance. Melanie Gibbs said it was $3 million. The story just grows and grows and grows, and they buy it hook, line, and sinker. No questions, no qualms, nothing. They're just okay. I mean, and I don't think that they're gullible. I don't think that's it at all. I mean, maybe naive. I don't know. I'm not them. Thank you, Jesus. But I mean, I don't know. I can't trust these people. I don't trust these people. I won't trust these people. They've not given me anything to appreciate, to, be like, oh, wow. Okay. You can tell when somebody is, I don't know the word right now. What am I? Regretful, remorseful. You can tell, and it's not by what they say, it's by what they do. That's one quick way to tell these people apart. Like if their actions, I mean, they this, they talk and talk and talk and talk, and they sound wonderful. That's a major theme I have seen and witnessed for myself with my own 2 ears and my own 2 eyes, Lori, and personally witnessed. Okay. I was there, but I've seen this over and over and over again in the religious circle, of the wider religious circle, I might add. I forgot what I was saying. That's bad when I elaborate. Shit. Y'all, I'm gonna have to have brain surgery or something. It's just not a good memory day for me. It was about the $2 million, and I witnessed it and witnessed it and witnessed it. And I'm sure it's in wider, religious. Oh crap. I forgot what it was though. So, I'll come back to it. Oh, that's how it works. I'm so sorry. I don't mind. I don't blame y'all for leaving. I get it. It's just as frustrating inside my head as it is outside, I'm sure. But the $2 million, she kept bringing that up, and I'm sure we're going to hear about it some more, and how it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. Are you dead, Lori? Did you die? But did you die? I mean, she's a movie buff, right? But did you die? So no. Okay, so why is it even an issue is what I'm saying. Like, why is she it's just to convolute things, in my opinion. She has nothing, so she just, it's like she points up, it's Tylee, and we're all back here, like like steam coming out of our ears because we can't get to her fast enough to, you know what I'm saying, to make her shut up. The things that are coming out of her mouth sideways, I might add, you know. Yeah, there was no proof of life insurance policy for Lori. I mean, she might want to work on that. If it's important to her, because it's irrelevant as all get out for me. What? Like, no, you're not dead. There is no evidence of a ambush on Lori Vallow Daybell. She looks like she did whatever the hell she wants, whenever the hell. Y'all saw her in Hawaii. I saw her in Hawaii too, through my TV. Thank you, Nate. Damn, took one for the team. But damn, it's like, what? Girl, you were in Hawaii. You got 2 yoga mats, 15 copies of freaking death certificates. You got all your kids' shit. No kids. There's evidence of no kids. There's evidence of all their stuff in, well, some of their stuff in storage unit. I wonder where that goes. Speaking of, the blankets and the stuff that was, I mean, what, they lived there for like 2 weeks, a week for Tylee. I mean, come on. And then Melanie Pulowski had gone up to Rexburg and then went back home to Arizona, and then Brandon gets shot at. And then she had allegedly stopped the divorce 2 days before their divorce was final, Melanie and Brandon. And I'm just like, And y'all remember, for those who have followed along, but whenever it was like November 14th or 17th or something along those lines, whenever Melanie Boudreaux Pulowski and her effing uncle Alex, okay? Holy shit. They show, that is so eerie. Oh my God. I'm going to pull that up too. Hold on. I got to make it really, inconvenient first. Okay, hold on. Let's see. It's my favorite video. All right. Which one? Arrested. Okay. I'm going to scooch. American Fork. This is Brandon Boudreaux's parents' house. This is where Brandon and his little children had to go and run and hide from Psycho Bitch right here. Okay? Psycho Bitch. Or is it this one?
You were also criminally trespassed over the property.
Tell her.
I asked an officer to come here last night to do a
Let's have
check-in
that.
because I'm worried they're in danger.
But you came over here
November,
after being told that you were criminally trespassed.
But I have an agreement saying that
from this residence.
November
my
2019.
order says that it's my time with my kids. They're supposed to be in Arizona. My husband's kept them out of school
Trespassed
for
from this
over a month.
location.
Oh, I'm not even showing it.
You're
Hey.
welcome to look at this order. They've been out
Right,
of state, out of
Mohawk
school,
mom.
and my husband's lied to everybody. I'm sure
There's
he
no
lied to the
captions.
cop last night.
Look, all in
So
black.
This is my
We've been
order.
in contact with.
Do you have a victim's advocate I can speak to? in the
Hey.
police department?
Yo,
Okay.
did you just hear that? This hooker, Junior, Hookerella, okay, Mini-Me, she just asked if she could speak to a effing victim's advocate. Oh. Yeah, let's watch that again.
Order. They've been out of state, out of school, and my husband's lied to everybody. I'm sure he lied to the cop last night. So this is my
We've been in
order.
contact with.
Do you have a victim's advocate I can speak to in the police department, please?
Party of one, please. Party of one. Victim's advocate. Party of one. Party of one. Oh my God. Your what do we call it? Your stray jacket is ready. Holy shit. Can you even imagine? Oh, and she asked for the police department here.
Lied to everybody. I'm sure he lied to the cop last night.
So she'd been there last night. Mm-hmm.
So this is my
We've been
order.
in contact with.
Do you have a victim's advocate I can speak to in the police department, please?
And the police department, please. So is okay. Whatever. Whatever.
Okay.
Thank you, dude.
Where'd you get this order from?
So this is our mediation order.
Okay.
We also have another copy.
It's really
of the
just a
original
copy of that order.
Copy of the court. This is my time with the kids. My husband's been hiding with them over a month out of state.
We talked to you the other day,
Oh,
right?
you heard her?
Yeah,
She
so
kind of
I
did a
asked
little
for somebody
pity
to come in
thing.
and check in on them to just make sure they're safe because my husband will, or my ex-husband will not talk to me.
So we told you they were safe yesterday, right, on the phone?
You
We
said that
we
on
saw
the phone.
the
They are supposed to be in my custody right now.
Yeah, well, you suck.
Yeah, they are. There's no.
Okay, hey, right now we're working through
Oh.
something else, okay?
Yeah, sit down.
So he's lied to everyone saying he has.
Okay.
He said he's had a protection order against them, and there was nothing. I've never been served with anything.
Well, here you go.
He's lied to everybody, and he kind of does
what
this. So.
were you
Allegedly.
wanting to happen tonight? Coming over here, were you going to try to take the kids away from them, or what's going on?
No, I'm not.
Yes.
I'm just trying to show that I was going to bring this copy to them and say this is
They
my
were
time
not.
with the kids.
Okay.
He's had them out of state, and he's been lying. Everyone's protecting them. Like I know.
He's at his dad's house hiding from you, crazy.
They've been lied to, saying that there's a protection order in place, and there isn't. My kids are. I'm worried they're in danger because I'm
As she's there.
doing a lot of things that.
Do y'all get the irony here? Like, she's saying she's worried that they're in danger here, all the way in American Fork, Utah, way, 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 way away from her psycho family, in my opinion, allegedly. Okay. Over there in Arizona, because you never know. They're plotting. When they're quiet, they're plotting. You best go check on them like a little toddler. You know, you're like, what you doing? You know, and they're like, nothing, mommy. And meanwhile, I know that's, anyways, not a good analogy, but because babies are cute. Anyways, and innocent. Anyway, so there's that. But that is the most, it's like a freaking mob family, y'all. It's like the mafia, Mormon mafia. Okay, here we are. Here we are. It didn't go away, y'all. It's continuing on right here, right now. And I like this guy because I don't know. It's the roughest we see anybody handling any of these people, and I'm here for it.
He says he was shot at a month ago, and then he went into hiding, and no one in Arizona has seen him for weeks for my children, and he
What if he's
kept them out
dead?
for over a month with truant absences. I asked an officer to just come over here last night to just make sure they're safe, and he said I can't do a welfare check or a wellness check.
So did
for
you
some
not hear
reason.
me when I
Isn't that interesting? How does she know about a wellness check? She's like victims advocate, check. Police department, check. Projecting all of Uncle Alex down, parked down the way a couple houses. Check. I got my hitman, check. I canceled my divorce allegedly, check. Made sure I got the insurance money, allegedly, check. And so here we are. She's wearing black, got that. Okay.
we were talking to you on the phone the other day and said we came here because you were here. We came here, we checked on the kids, they were
Are you talking
okay.
about yesterday or
Yeah.
the day before?
The day before. The day
I
before.
heard and I had to call in because I didn't know if that was. I just heard something on speaker. I didn't hear everything I heard. It wasn't super clear, and so I called in the next day and I
Just
said,
brighter.
because I don't want to have to go over there again. Can you send an officer to come check in?
Came over here anyways when we told you that you
Well,
were
I have
trespassing. It
I
doesn't
have a
matter,
legal.
right?
But the rules don't apply to me,
And they're probably in danger.
They're probably in danger. You know that for sure. Like,
Well, I know what my ex is capable
She
of.
has
He sent
spiritual discernment.
evil people working with them, so I just wanted to make sure my kids were safe last
Amen.
week. And the officer.
As long as they're not with
So
you,
I need to
girl.
speak to a
As long as they're not with
but you were trespassing.
I was talking. I'm so sorry because she just asked for a victim's advocate again.
So do
do
you
that.
think
So I
this
need to
was
speak
the
to a
right?
victim's advocate.
Okay,
if we
I'm
can-
just. But you were trespassed, correct? You remember that on the phone?
I
asked you if you understood. You stated you did. So.
Okay.
So you understand you're trespassed, right?
Yes, but I believe with my
Yes,
order, I
that
can
don't
come and
apply to
just
me.
get my. I'm not going in.
Nope.
I'm not going into the house.
We know.
I'm just.
You're trespassed from the property. You being on the lawn right now is a violation of that trespass.
Well, I can get off.
Well, it doesn't
Just-
really matter now.
I'm not trying to barge into their house.
Like a child.
I'm just trying to be peacefully, trying to do what's
I like how you
right
put that.
and what's in my order.
Is this an order from Arizona?
Yes, it
You were
is.
in there?
They're illegally out of state right now.
You're illegally
Keeping them out of school
trespassing.
for over a month. I've been
Here we are.
searching for them. I don't know what else to do. I asked someone to just come over and see. if
She
they're
tracked
safe.
them down, y'all.
And Carlson probably scared him off, saying there's a protection order, and there's no protection order. We can go and look everything up right now. I haven't seen or talked to my kids. I have a 2-year-old, 4-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a
Oh, yeah.
9-year-old, and they haven't seen their mom for over. And my husband's been doing drugs, and he's.
Well, this is probably not the best way to go about
I
it, right?
suspect.
To come here and try to.
I tried asking if an officer could just
I
make sure
understand
they're
that,
safe.
and we told you
But
they
I
were
was
safe,
told
right?
I have this court order saying it's my time with the kids. If I know where they're
Thank
at,
God
I can
that
go.
thing was not real.
So you can't come over here and forcefully take them.
Not forcefully, I'm
and
just
we can't
knocking,
come
saying
over here
I
and
was
forcefully
going to get them in
take
order
them
because
out,
I know
right?
they've been lied to.
I'll be right back.
That's something that you're going to have to take up with the courts, right? Like we told you the other day. You're going to have to go to
I
the
don't know if
courts.
they're safe, and I feel like they're in danger.
We
and
can go in there and check and see if they're safe. And then we can come back here and we can tell you they're safe. Stop talking. Stop talking. Okay?
Shut the fuck
We
up.
can go in there, check if
Sorry.
they're safe, but we already trespassed you from this property saying you can't come back here. And what you do, you came back here. And it doesn't matter if you got this piece of paper.
I
We
don't-
told you not to come back here, and you come back here and you're upsetting everybody, and now it's just a whole freaking problem. So your whole thing is here is just you want to come here and check if they're safe. You want a welfare check on
Can
them?
happen.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, now you yes, sir.
Yeah. So that's another problem, right? So this is a whole civil problem. This is a whole court thing, okay? Because even if you do come here with these papers and say, "Yep, it's my time," they're not giving them back to me. Then the only thing you got to do is go to the courts and you got to say, "Hey, listen, if these are signed by a judge down there in the court or whatever." He can say, you know what, this is your time. Let's get this back in court. Let's have him come back to court. Let's do this. Then
Not get shot
we
at.
can give you a report number, and we can stop talking. Stop talking. Okay, I'm explaining some things. Okay. Are you understanding what I'm saying?
I am, sir.
Oh, I wish she would just backtalk right now.
So this
Little
isn't the
Mormon.
best way to go about things.
Yes, sir.
You can bring up everything to the judge. You think he's doing drugs and that he's been getting shot at and that it's not a safe environment for your kids. But
Hold
what
on,
you
we're gonna
can't
back it
do-
up though. I was trying to let him finish his spiel, but we're gonna watch that again. It's just too good.
Everybody, if you got this properties, okay, come back here.
They're in danger.
Like we told
I love it.
I was told I have a mediation. I have this court order saying it's my time with the kids. If I know where
Wish
they're
we
at, I
could
can
see
go
it.
and get them.
No, so you can't come over here and forcefully take them.
Not forcefully. I'm
and
just
we
knocking,
can't come
saying
over here
I
and
was
forcefully
going to get them in
take
order
them
because
out,
I know
right?
they've been lied to, saying there's a protection.
That's something that you're going to have to take up with the courts, right? Like we told you the other day. You're going to have
So
to go to
I
the
don't know if
courts.
they're safe, and I feel like they're in danger.
We
and
can go in there and check and see if they're safe. And then we can come back here and we can tell you they're safe. Stop talking. Stop talking. Okay?
Shut up.
We can go in there, check if they're safe, but we already trespassed you from this property saying you can't come back here. And what you do, you came back here. And it
Here we
doesn't
are.
matter if you got this piece of paper. We told you not to come back here, and you come back here and you're upsetting everybody, and now it's just a whole freaking problem. So your whole thing is here is just you want to come here and check if they're safe. You want a welfare check on them.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And it's my time.
Yeah. So that's another problem, right? So this is a whole
He's still
this is a
talking.
whole civil problem. This is a whole court thing, okay? Because even if you do come here with these papers and say, "Yep, it's my time," they're not giving them back to me. Then the only thing you got to do is go to the courts and you got to say, "Hey, listen, if these are signed by a judge down there in the court or whatever." He can say, you know what, this is your time. Let's get this back in court. Let's have him come back to court.
How it goes, girls,
Let's do
called
this,
process.
and we can give you a report number, and we can stop talking. Stop talking. Okay, I'm explaining some things. Okay. Are you understanding what I'm saying?
I am, sir.
Yeah, sir.
So this isn't the best way to go about things.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. All right, hold on.
For weeks with the mystery surrounding the missing Rexburg children, and it continues to grow. 7-year-old JJ Vallow and 17-year-old Tylee Ryan missing since
supposed to be a
September.
911 call.
And tonight, we're hearing more 911 calls linked to the players in this case. Our Shira Matsuzawa listened to those recordings.
Up our
She
ass.
brings them to us now. Shira.
Mark, we put a records request in for those 911
There
calls
was a
last
reward?
week.
Oh, yeah,
we
for the
shared the
kids, yeah.
transcript from it, but we're only now obtaining the audio for it today. And as you know, this is a case that has gripped the nation with ties here in Idaho, Arizona, Utah, Hawaii, and beyond. And it's a very convoluted case,
Oh, yeah.
and it continues to get even more so.
The date of Melanie, yes.
911, where's your
No. No.
Someone just
shot my
window.
911 calls now giving a glimpse into the night someone shot at Brandon Boudreau's Tesla in Gilbert, Arizona on October 2nd,
Let's watch it
shattering
from
the
the-
driver's side window.
Did you
see the guy that
I didn't see who it was.
Brandon is the ex-husband of Lori Vallow's niece, Melanie. In the call, you hear
That's not
Brandon
it.
say he has no idea who shot at
This
him.
isn't it.
But later, he told a private investigator that he believed the shooter was Alex Cox,
I'll be right back.
Lori's brother. The same person who police say killed Charles Vallow, Lori's ex-husband, allegedly in self-defense.
And needless to say, he was scared to death.
Brandon hired a private investigator after he was the target of that drive-by shooting. Gilbert police are still investigating that shooting, but our Misty Inglet spoke with the private investigator involved last week.
The person he recognized, the person he suspected was the person who did the shooting, was the same person who killed Charles Vallow. Alex Cox.
911, where's your emergency?
Hi, I need an ambulance to.
2 months later, also in Gilbert, a man who identified himself as the son of Alex's girlfriend called 911.
I have a older male here named Alex. He just passed out here on my bathroom.
Alex died on December 12th, his death still being investigated.
Yo, Alex.
Not anymore.
Alex. He's not breathing.
And all this comes
Oh.
as there's still no sign of JJ or Tylee, and Lori and Chad Daybell are in Hawaii. Today, we're also getting a look at a timeline of the school where JJ attended in Arizona
Hey.
and their interactions with the children and Lori, as well as Charles. Our Misty Inglet will break it down for you tonight on the news at 10. Mark?
All right.
Okay, hold on. I found it, but I just remembered, even though they didn't play it in this call, but whenever Zalima's son, Joseph, which you just heard his voice, whenever he calls 911, the dispatcher that's like telling him to do CPR, it sounds like the same one that responded whenever Alex shot my uncle, which is interesting because I mean, I was like, Jason, am I tripping? You know, she sounds just like her. She's like, I'll tell you what to do. And anyways, telling him how to administer CPR. But also in Brandon's shooting, we have a lady that responds to Brandon's 911 call. And she's the same woman that responded to my uncle at the Hyatt Hotel. Okay. I'm just like, that's some coincidences. Okay, friends. Those are textbook coincidences. That's really odd though. But yeah, so I pulled this up. Oh, damn it. I'll never go on Facebook.
We're hearing the 911 call reporting her niece for trespassing, and it gets intense. This happened in Utah back in November. Fox 10's Justin Lum joins us live to help connect the dots.
Mark, Christina, Melanie Boudreau actually moved to Idaho from Arizona without her kids shortly after her aunt Lori did. Relatives say they both joined a religious cult led by Chad Daybell. Now she's involved in a custody battle with her ex-husband. Just 3 months ago, police say Melanie tried to take her children from their
Alex was her
grandparents,
sixth.
not once, but twice.
Number 6 for Zalima.
Okay. Sir?
No! The police are on your way! Get away from my door!
You're hearing the 911 call made by Carlson Boudreau on November 14th in American Fork City, Utah. He's yelling at 30-year-old Melanie Boudreau, who police say trespassed onto her former in-law's property, despite being told several times to leave.
Yes, my son's estranged wife.
Good question.
Who has made threats, and I don't want her here.
Brandon Boudreaux used to be Melanie's
I
husband.
don't want her
They
here.
lived in Arizona and had 4 children. But after a divorce last summer, Brandon says Melanie decided to move to Idaho, following the lead of her aunt Lori, whose kids JJ and Tylee haven't been seen since September.
She's in my garage. I'm not opening the door if she's at least in my house. If I open the door, there's going to be a problem. If you understand what I'm telling you.
The police report says Melanie continued to bang on the door and yell, claiming she had a court order to take her children. Police say she trespassed onto the same property just 2 days prior. Brandon's father also gives the dispatcher disturbing details.
Somebody tried to kill my son 3 weeks ago in Phoenix.
Oh, that's
And
terrible.
it's believed that she's involved in it.
On October 2nd, Gilbert police say Brandon was shot at while he pulled into his driveway. A bullet hit the driver's side window of his Tesla. The
God, he is so
investigation
lucky
is
to be
still open.
alive.
Get out of my garage now!
She don't
Get
listen.
out of my garage! Get off my property now!
American Fork police say Melanie's uncle, Alex Cox,
Oh
drove
my
her to where her
God.
children were in a 2020 Kia Telluride. After her arrest, she was booked into Utah County Jail on a criminal trespass charge enhanced by domestic violence. The day after the arrest, Alex Cox bailed Melanie out. Less than a month later, Cox is found dead in Gilbert. You can find our
Weird.
interactive timeline on anything related to the search for JJ and Tylee on fox10phoenix.com. Live in the studio, Justin Love.
Yes,
Fox
we
10
do,
News.
Seashell.
Justin, thanks.
Yes, we do. Y'all. And Chris was in here the other day during the trial. And
I heard there was a secret
I don't
chord
know where it's playing.
that David played.
Let me just do this. How about that? Okay. I don't know where the song was coming from, but so Chris told me the other day, or he said it in the comments, to order the front court cameras, in a FOIA request. And I'm like, oh, so not that I want to, but I do also want to not see the back of Lori's head. It would be awesome to see her smirking and jerking like she accused my uncle of being smirky and jerky is the word she used to explain my uncle in very vague terms to the Detective Yinklin. I don't know either. I'm like, is this something the FBI is just like, okay, well, we're willing to take the chance. I'm like, well, aren't the kids always being used as pawns then? Like, that's so worrisome to me. Now, so Jason boggled my brain, which is not hard to do, I must say. Not these days, unless I'm on it, But he said, so Lori's theme in all this has been to blame Tylee for everything. He was like, Sue, if Tylee was dead prior to Brandon Boudreaux's shoot, the conspiracy happening to kill Brandon with Chad Daybell. Chad Daybell stayed on the phone with Alex the entire time on the way back for sure after Alex missed. So, and then we have to tire the Jeep seat. Y'all remember, for those of you who have been around, the Jeep seat, we all thought that was like a dead body. It was so, it caught most of us, I'd say, it caught me off guard. It caught Larry and Mom off guard. Like, oh my God, is that a freaking dead body? Here we are, That was not a stretch to go there with your mind. So, but the whole, I'm losing it. Let's see. What was I saying? What was I saying besides messing up my hair? Oh, and the question somebody asked earlier, if the body cam footage of Melanie Boudreaux Pulowski showing up to Brandon Boudreaux's parents' house, his name is Carlson, and I don't know his mom's name right off the hand. The bat. It's horrible. But when Melanie showed up there, that was November. I had the damn thing pulled up. November what? We're trying to. She asked me if this was posted November 22nd, 2021, but in the description box, it is This footage is from, my screen is so close. It's from November of 2019. And I want to say mid-month. I want to say, but I don't know for sure because it's not in there, but it is in the Gilbert docs. Anyways, I would take you around with me, but I stopped sharing my screen. So the question was, because she was asking, because Melanie Boudreaux was asking about a welfare check. And so I was like, well, that's freaking, yeah, that's rich. Along with the victim's advocate, the police officers, she's asking all these things. And it sounds like Lori's playbook. But the question was, if the welfare check had been called in at that time that Melanie was there with Alex to, I guess just go and confiscate her kids, go kidnap them, basically. So many things are running through my mind right now because I just realized that just as Lori, oh my God, it's called reactive, is it narcissistic reactive abuse, or is it reactive abuse to narcissism? I don't know what it is. I don't know the correct term, but I was looking this kind of abuse up because this is what was happening to Charles by Lori. Lori would create the situation. Charles would react by, okay, Lori abandoned JJ and him, wouldn't talk to him for 72 days. I think that's what I was trying to remember earlier. Anyways, for 72 days, hauls ass to Hawaii. He reacts by moving closer to our family, to Louisiana, so that my mom and, mainly my mom, but so my parents, can help with JJ. So Houston, where there are services, because it's Houston, damn Texas, y'all. This isn't like, a little podunk town somewhere. It's not like Rexburg. I'm not anything against Rexburg, but it's like, really? I mean, if he's going to get, anyways, it's just one of those things where Lori boasts herself up, making Charles out to be this villain. Okay. Well, I just noticed the same pattern with Melanie Boudreaux because, well, I'm kind of doing both, but Lori would create the situation. Charles would respond. Lori would then, show up out of whatever the situation, and she would make it look like she was the victim. Like, what, why are you here? Why'd you move to Houston? Why'd you drag JJ out of his school? Why'd you do this? Why, and then she didn't even know my mom was right there. She didn't know that at all. And my mom just kind of eventually, came out of the other room, and Lori, after she was like, what family do you have, Charles? What family? And he's like, my family, after she took her family away from Charles, forbade them to talk to him, to her quote unquote son. This is a effed up family, y'all. Okay. This is a freaked out family. Woo. Makes my family feel normal as all get out. Praise Jesus, right? Oh my God. For everybody in here this makes you feel like you have a normal family, right? Show some love. Anyways, it is a psychological hornet's nest. But yeah, so Melanie is, if she's involved in the conspiracy, like I suspect she is, to kill Brandon, then let's take the same situation. She was, let's say Brandon. Okay, no, she gets a divorce because her Aunt Lori thinks that Brandon's gay, allegedly, whatever. And then, so they part ways. They get separate houses. Brandon had just moved into this rental house where he got shot at, and he had just went and did a what? A kid exchange. You can't make this shit up. You can't. I mean, you just, You can try, but you can't make this shit up. That's Joe Ryan was attacked by her brother Alex during a kid exchange. That is Charles was murdered at a kid exchange. And Melanie Boudreaux Pulowski also did a kid exchange after returning from Idaho, where I would say it looks to me like the evidence may show, allegedly, that Melanie Boudreaux may have gone up to Idaho from Arizona to, I don't know, talk about fall festivities. I don't really, a conspiracy. She went, in my opinion, she went up there to conspire. I don't know. And she's the only one that had Brandon, or she's one of the few people that had Brandon Boudreaux's actual address to his new rental. And I remember seeing in the court papers between Melanie and Brandon that Melanie had given their son a watch, I can't think of the name of it right now, but it would, somebody help me. It was like a tracker. It had tracking capabilities in it. I'll say allegedly, I'll say again, because I don't know, because I was not there. Again, thank you, God. And so again, a kid exchange ensues, and then boom, Brandon is shot at by Alex Cox out of Tylee's back window of her Jeep. There's evidence to show that the Jeep at the time of Charles's shooting did not have tinted windows. Okay. When it was in the garage and being photographed by the evidence, the scene detectives who went and responded to that murder of my uncle. And then they actually have the window tinting receipt for window tinting at Dan's. I want to say the name of it is Dan's. Sorry. Not sponsored here, but hit me up. Anyways, just saying, like, so they got the windows tinted allegedly, and then the Jeep came back down, with Alex driving it. Chad Daybell, he just can't help but put his fat ass in it, and he's got to be on the phone all up in the middle of it, giggling. I'm sure he's giggling now on his porta potty in his death row cell. Okay. I mean, just giggling, think he got away with something. I mean, whew. I don't want to be there when they have to go face Jesus. That's all I'm saying. I don't want to be there. Woo! Thank God that's not me. So it's just interesting to see. I'm sorry. I'm like kind of everywhere, and I'm so sorry. I'm just kind of, we'll just call this our meet and greet. I don't really know, because it's just like, holy shit. There really is so much evidence, physical evidence. We've got video of again, I think it was it Alex that rolled the wheel in and Chad carried it like a dumbass, or it was vice versa. It was one of the two. I think Chad carried it because he's not very smart. It's just interesting. So yeah, the Jeep goes there, kid exchange, basically as soon as Brandon left, because the Jeep had been parked there. And there are, I don't know exactly how many witnesses right off the top of my head, but the cops, they canvassed the area where Brandon got shot at. And I mean, they knocked on people's doors. We actually have body cam of some of the neighbors even talking on the body cam, even a neighbor calling the sheriff or the police department and saying, hey, are we safe to go back home? Because my neighbor just got shot at. And then I know, right? And then we had Melanie Gibb, bless her heart. And I mean that. Okay. Then we have her saying that Melanie Boudreaux, Melanie's and Alex told her or asked her, whatever, ordered her to go to Brandon Boudreaux's house to snoop. She's the snoop, y'all. She's the goss. Okay. She's like, you want some of that new hot Mormon goss? I got it right here. That's Melanie Gibb. I mean, she is Lori 2.0. She is so Lori 2.0. So I think for me, y'all, I think this trial is like the firework, forget, what am I trying to say? The firework ending. And it's like, take all the prisoners. No, take no prisoners, like, let's go whole ass, y'all. I'm a whole ass person. I don't mess up a little. I mess up a lot. I don't do good things a little, you go bigger, you go home. And I hope, and especially if Trina is already trying to bring in 404B evidence in this trial coming up, number 2. But it will be, let's see, she's been convicted, and that's bad, right? She's been convicted in Idaho. She's been convicted here. Chad's been convicted in Idaho. She will be convicted again here. Because we got the bitch again, right? We're going to get the bitch again. And so that's 4. And so that's a grand slam in baseball terms, right? That's what Jason said. Because I was like, home run. What's a home run? All, the bases are loaded, because my uncle was a baseball player. What was I about to... When it does jog, though, it comes out, y'all. It does. It's like, yeah, but like a firework, like a grand finale. Okay, I'm ready. And Brandon deserves this. He deserves this justice. To hold Melanie Boudreaux Pulowski and her aunt and any questionable Cox familial participants. I don't know what to call that, besides alleged co-conspirators, in my opinion. Don't give them a platform. Please do me a favor. I'm not about taking people. Never mind. Let me retract that. They shouldn't be seeking the platform to me. Like, you weren't there for Charles. So you can't cry about the kids, is what I'm saying. Because to me, it looks like you were all on board to murder my uncle, or to, support your sister, to be there for her. You knew she had an important mission. And to have your temple recommend taken away, Lori, this is war. F you. Okay. And the white horse, you can ride the hell out on. Okay. The white horse prophecy your ass out of here. Okay. And take your little churchy judgy shit too, because we ain't having it. Okay. And that's how I feel. So you can't sit here and cry about Tylee. You can't sit here and cry about JJ. You can't sit here and cry about Tammy. Don't even pull your little heads with it, Just go back to whence you came, just go. Bye, Felicia. It's enough. I don't know. My mom always said, sweep around your porch. Okay. Make sure your porch is clean. Make sure you're okay. Not full of guilt, or your hands aren't all in it, make sure you can sleep at night before you come telling me what I need to do. That's all I'm saying. So I will not be like this the next time, because I don't like this part. This part is, yeah, I pray for them. And I promise I won't pray the way that there, people around Lori and Chad prayed for the victims in this case, for my family. Please, thank you. Hard pass. Nope. Don't want that shit. Mm-mm. Girl, drink you a glass of wine. Toast. Cheers. Yeah, exactly. Nonchalant. Nonchalant. Holy cow. It does. I get this a lot. Yeah. She actually argued with me over the bus video of JJ and Larry. I was like, Mom, that is me. And she was like, that was me. I filmed. I was like, Mom, you were helping Uncle Charles pack in Arizona. So, anyways. So, yeah, we do sound alike because I'm like, and pay your bill on time. Just being silly, just trying to entertain the kids while we were pumping gas. Trace, I would love to know. I want to ask Trina if she knows why no charges for the others. Ooh, do it. I'll do it too. I'll go with you. I'll be your witness, girl. I will stand by you. I'll support you. Okay. We all need advocates if you live in the Cox family. Whew. Anyways, y'all, I didn't mean to run all into this territory, but it was like a refresher. I am Crush of the Refresher. I was going to say we say. I am pretty much the only one that says it. So let me pull. Have y'all seen the latest grandstanding by Lori on True Crime Arizona? I'm just going to share the tab, but I'm not going to actually be able to. I am not playing it. I'm not trying to get struck. Let me see. Look, we're just going to do like this. Okay. Let me see. I just asked y'all a question and I need to stick around and wait for you to answer it. I think Lori is ugly. Always have. She was pretty when younger. Yeah. Oh, you have to continue making videos. Otherwise, I would miss you too much. Same here. I feel like I'm just like, I don't have it, like I had so many ideas in the beginning and now I'm like, well, where was that app? I'm starting to be old. I'm starting to act old and not mature, like just old. Anyway, I actually was and so you jogged my memory on this. So thank you for that. Okay. But I talked to y'all during the trial or, verdict day. And I knew that we were getting towards the end here. It's also uncomfortable in that aspect because it's I don't know. It's just really hard to deal with the finality of it. It doesn't exist in my world. And I don't think it exists, to family members at all. Closure. That's like, okay. It's not a comfortable word. I don't know, but maybe I don't know, but just some kind of, as far as the justice in this, this has been justice through understanding, as KJ taught me for sure. And a lot of us, that justice means a lot of things to a lot of people. Yeah. What does justice mean to you? What, how do you factor that into your own worldview? What does justice look like for your loved ones who were, just, I can't find the words right now, but just wrongly, they were just so violated, dehumanized. And it's just horrible. It's so horrible. And it bothers me so much that they had to live the hell that they had to live through. And it's like, this is always, it brings me right back to center. And they did all that. I can shut the hell. I can do like the cop told Melanie Pulaski just now, and I can shut the hell up, and yeah, I can endure this. I have the patience. I have the time. I have, now I have the understanding and will continue this quest. I didn't have all that in the beginning. I've been able to view the horrible moments and in the last moments of their lives, and it is heart-wrenching. It really is. And nobody should ever have to endure that. Nobody. Don't do that to anybody else, and damn sure don't take it either, okay? Nobody's the boss of you, and you're not the boss of anybody else either. Lori, Ruby, Jody, they exhibit a lot of like just control freaks. That's the only thing I can I'm like, oh my God, they are just freaking control freaks. they have to control and micro compartmentalize and micromanage and hover and just make everything so perfect and just allegedly in their minds, I'm sure. But I'm just like, oof, girl, unwind a little bit. You know, I'm telling you, it's always like a busted can of biscuits and you're just waiting on it, you know, Chad. Just picking the dough biscuits, you get it. Anyways. But like to give up, I don't know how. I don't. I'm it's not what happened to me. It's not like I just decided this one day, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go and this is important to me because, you know, what is justice? It was not like that. It was, holy shit, this is happening. I don't know. You know, my uncle was just murdered. My, you know, there's just real life going on, real life problems, real life traumas, real life, real kids, real situations, real parents gone because hookers going crazy. Lori's, you know, wilding out over there. And I too am, I want to be right there by their side, you know. I want to be right there and just be like, whap. I'm just saying, I don't know, but I knew I couldn't. I knew that I had kids and I had Jason and got to hold the fort down, right? And I mean, don't come at me, okay? I'm thankful for the silver lining in the pandemic because it brought Zoom court hearings to my living room, to my device, to my YouTube, to the YouTube chats where I got to chat with you guys. And then where I eventually was like, you know what? I'm going to try and do this too. And here we are. And I'm just saying, lots of learning in a little bit of time. And you guys are so patient with me and y'all always bring the best comments, the best banter. Don't ever change. Don't ever change. And it's like, you guys love my family and we love the victims, all of them. I mean, I've never met Joe. I've never met Tammy. But I'm trying to break us apart right now. You can't do it because they're part of my family. They're part of my family's story. They're part of their story. They're part of this. I mean, this is just, it should have never got this far. And there's so many things that we need to talk about that are difficult. And I know it sucks. It's shitty. I get it. All right. But it's necessary. These things are necessary. And I learned that saying, we have to get comfortable talking about uncomfortable things in order. Did I say that right? We have to get comfortable talking about uncomfortable things. And then I added, if we want change, and we do, like, we have to get the hell over ourselves. Okay. It was not easy to go into these chat rooms, these forums, these Facebook groups, and hear the world talk about the case, especially the hard things to hear, you know. But you guys, it's not anything that anyone else was doing, but it's just hard to go into. It's hard to talk about GHB being in JJ's system. It's hard knowing about the abundant amount of duct tape. It's hard knowing, just going through all that with Charles, okay? And just for that even happening to Tylee and Tammy. I mean, anyways, I can go on and on. I was about to go into detail, but I'm not right now. But like, y'all know how Tylee was found. And there's just no effing excuse for that shit at all. Okay. Just for none of it. None of it. But I wanted to know. And I wanted to learn as much as I can. And there are so many voices here on YouTube, just YouTube alone. There are so many other platforms I don't have time for. And I'm sure they're just wonderful and great. And everybody goes where they get their cup filled, you know? And so this is such a draining topic. This is so I don't even know how to do it. Honestly, I praise my mods for just they are freaking. I'm not gonna say warriors because I can't say warrior, but I mean they are some of the most. I'm gonna say respected, but it's like I don't know the word. I look up to them because they also are like a protection, soft place of land. You guys, like you come out, it's like we're here to approach all these difficult things together. We unpack them. We do our inappropriate, morbid behavior, and jokes and stuff because it's so freaking uncomfortable. It is. But that doesn't make us bad humans. I don't think so. I don't. And I'm not perfect though. So I don't know. Just doing the best we can with what we have to work with and still trying to be humans and that camaraderie. Maybe not so much a trauma bond, but camaraderie. Where we're just not going to stand up for this shit. We're not gonna take it. Anyways, I gotta do something weird. But y'all are awesome. And thank you, mods. Yes. You guys are, I'm just gonna say beast mode. I don't know. See what I'm saying? I'm not very good with it today, but you guys, I'm just gonna stop because I can't. I keep going into a brick wall. Anyways. All right, so it's been 2 hours and 16 minutes. I feel like, and I didn't finish one damn thing I set out to do, but we did a whole lot of things and just didn't finish them. So if you can just, give me a grace one more time, please. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you. We have some time. We have till June 2nd, which is whenever trial, I don't know if that's, I see. And so I don't have this in front of my face, but it's either trial's going to start June 2nd. If anybody knows, drop it, please. So how'd that go, Trace? I'm glad that wasn't 2 weeks ago. Oh, I get it. I think I do. I suspect. Twisted sister, not twisted sisters. Okay. Thank you. Y'all are awesome, really. But just, yeah, thank y'all for loving my family and for loving the victim. You know what I mean? Just rallying around them. It's like when you're seeing the worst in humanity through all this crap and these wretched people and all the things that they were doing around them, to them, spiritually, casting, blessings, inversion. It just turned on its freaking head. Turned on its head like none other. I'm like, don't say bless you. I'm good. Just turn the other way. Don't you point that thing at me. It's just, I mean, it's like, wow, we're in 19 at the time, 20 at the time, and here we are at 2025. And I mean, do we really have to go there and tell people that this is not right? That do unto others as you'd want done to you or your children? I mean, yes, you do. You do. It turns out. So don't ever, just go with that understanding and just pretend everybody's about that level. So defensive. It's just being defensive driving. That's about 9/10 of what it is to become a brand new driver, or even just a regular everyday driver, unless you live in Idaho and Utah. Woo, y'all better slow y'all's asses down. Woo, y'all are y'all are like me. Everybody's flipping everybody off. I'm like, holy cow. Crazy. Is it like that in Arizona? I've not been, but I will be there for the sentencing. So watch out. Oh man. There's just so much to unpack. Oh, Jason asked me, so how is Lori going to blame Tylee for Brandon? And I'm like, Not that we do. Tell Summer so she calms down. Just saying, that's her scapegoat. Always. So is Lori going to start turning a little more and more on her bubby, on Alex, on her protector? Or is she's not, I don't think she's ever going to be like, oh, it's my fault. I'm sorry. Got me, ever. And what the hell does Summer think about this whole, might get out on an appeal in Idaho? I read the damn thing and it was horrible. I mean, she gave her defense attorneys nothing. Okay. Mm-mm. So, yes, sweet Melissa. There's so more. That's so scary. Donna, she'll bring it up. She'll be like, what about the rest of them? I'm like, what about the damn rest of them? Right. I remember telling my mom that whenever she told me that Alex had died, their hitman died. I was just like, oh, cool. What about the rest of them is what I was thinking, because define cult, like what is cult to you? I didn't know what this cult consisted of. And I'm so disappointed in humanity. But then there are you guys, and I'm just like, all right, you restore humanity right back, and I don't know. You guys are awesome for that. Thank y'all. And yes, there are so many more. So many more. And so I'm working on holding them accountable legally. I didn't know this was an option. I've been talking about it a little too much. But there are ways to hold these enterprises accountable. Anyways, I never knew where this was going. I still don't. Okay. I'm not a fortune teller. I'm not a prophet. I'm not a seer, a revelator. I'm just here. I'm Kresha. And difficult research. That's what we're doing. So anyways, stay off the freeway if you can avoid here. Oh shit. I'm not getting in one of them driverless things. As a matter of fact, one of Lori and one of their associates, Kelly was her name. I forget her last name right now. Kelly, Kellye. Why I remember that? But she, I want to say, obviously don't remember her last name right now, but I do have screenshots with this on there. Thank you, little brands or librarians, or librarians, little brands. LV. I'm just kidding. Love you too. Thank you. You rock. But Kelly Turner, maybe? I don't know. Anyways, I want to say I have an article or something with Kelly, Kellye, in one of those, is it called Waymo or something? I'm gonna have to go look that up, because if she owns that too, we're gonna put her in the enterprise. Yeah, we'll pick her up. Joking. Hope you get my humor. All right. Get us a horse and a buggy. Okay. All right. Just kidding. But that would be cool. Okay. I'm just saying. I'm not above that. I ride an ice cream truck. Anyways. Oh, good. I don't know about them damn scorpions, though, y'all. I don't know. I was like, oh yeah, I don't know about all that. Yeah, I might say it was part of my decision to stay this last trial. No, it wasn't. I mean, kind of. I was like, well, I don't know about the scorpions. We have mosquitoes. Woo, not a damn scorpion. Holy shit. Thank you, sweet Melissa. Yes, he called. Thank you, Running Bear. Appreciate you. Todd called earlier, and I have too many things to remember, and I didn't bring my notebooks, and I wouldn't even be able to access the things because I forget where they are in the notebooks. I do take a lot of notes, though. But Todd called earlier, and he's going to be out in about 2 or 3 weeks. Yay! Waymo. Oh, shit. Trace. We're going to look that. We're going to Google that. We're going to do a little, look at their tax returns and stuff Oh my God. Thank you, Running Bear. He is so excited. I'm so excited to hear that he's so excited. And so we were like, hey, are you going to come to the trial? And he was like, what trial? And I was like, well, we have Brandon's left. But he will be on parole for some time. So, we'll see. But I mean, how awesome would that be for Todd to be able to go there if he wants to? I'm not saying he is. I don't even know. If he can, I'm just saying he would be available to, like, he would actually be home. And, you can make arrangements with your PO, parole officer, if he wanted to. I would definitely be right there to support him all the way if he wanted me to. But that would be so awesome if he did. I'm not trying to have my own expectations because I do that. We've done that. We do that. Okay. We're like, oh yeah, I see it all playing out in my head. And then you get pissed off whenever it does not turn out to be the way you wanted it or how it played out in your head. So, I mean, I just am, cutting backflips because he has that opportunity if he wants it. And that's up to him. I think it would be sweet. I think it would be poetic. And it just always reminds me of when my mom was doing her victim impact statement in Idaho. And although she said the way they had it set up, Lori was, pancaked or sandwiched in between her attorneys, hanging out, her leg just all sprawled out, like a freaking hooker. And it's like where they read the statements, the victim statements from, she couldn't see her. She couldn't look her in the eyes like she did that damn day. Okay, not long ago. And oh boy, huh? And she said, Lori, Todd forgives you. And I was like, oh, I cried. I lost my shit because here we are. My mom's reading her victim statement tailored down to appease the court. And she just comes out of nowhere in the middle of her victim impact statement. She's like, Lori, Todd forgives you. And Lori, this is the same Todd that you adopted his baby. You were going to give him a better life until you didn't. You called him a drug baby, meaning you're calling my brother a dope head, a drug head, like, oh, you're so high and mighty. My bad. You're exalted, you bitch. Like, and here you are. Here she is being all judgy and preachy and exalted and shit and translated and shit. We know she does. And yet the drug addict, the one that was also in prison, she wishes she could feel his pinky toe. Okay. That's all I'm saying. And feel like FILL. She has no substance to her. Anyways, I just think it takes a lot, especially when somebody judges someone else, just like Lori and my brother and his girlfriend, Mandy, JJ's mom, birth mom. And then she took that for granted. And I just, that makes, yeah. Ew, I process things when I talk. So you just saw that in real time. Oh, it pisses me off. Anyways, all right. So I started working on I actually got an idea earlier because I've told y'all about sharing Uncle Charles's funeral services, I guess. I told y'all the video is so shitty because I did not know how to, I was like this. Okay. And then, I was wiggling it. It just makes a lot of noise. It's embarrassing. I'm embarrassed. And it's annoying as well. It's about as annoying as Melanie Pulowski taking her toddler. And I'm not saying anything about that toddler. I'm talking about Melanie's parenting lack of skills. Okay. And I even did a little report on that too, about what would be the reasons for bringing your toddler to an interview the day after your estranged husband is shot at? And so that's interesting. We will have to get through these. So I've been doing some voiceovers too, and I'm not spending a lot of time editing. If not, I'll still have them in my phone. So they'll never get uploaded. So just pardon me. I'm not a professional. I'm not. So that's not here. But I'll be real. You'll get that. Okay. And I'll dance at your wedding. Okay. But anyway, so I've been working on this. I had an idea today actually, and I was like, oh yeah, I can do this with that video. Anyway, so I liked it because I haven't had that in a long time, like where I just have a good idea, I think, and I can make things, visually or artsy, you know what I'm saying? And kind of, I'm at a loss for words. I'm about to hang up, but yeah, and so I also have, y'all, Megan did the best thing the other day. I mean, oh my God, her daughter got married tonight. I'm looking at the time. So congratulations, mom-in-law. Just don't be a cox. Okay. Oh my gosh. But congratulations, Megan, if you catch this on double speed. I appreciate you, girl. And you are an honorary Vallow girl. I can't believe we're having this conversation. We love you. And family's what you make it. It's not who you're related to by blood. Thank God. And it's who you, we pick them. We pick our friends. They're our family. And that's awesome. And I couldn't be more blessed. I know I'm not alone in that. But Megan made this song the other night, and I'm like, you got to make that public. You have to make that public, Megan. But I need to ask Megan I don't think she'll mind, but I want to ask anyways. If I can intertwine it into the little idea I had earlier. So, but I started crying too. I was like, oh, because I mean, editing and you join those ideas together, and I'm just like, there's not going to be a dry eye in the house. I'll tell you that right now. So get your Kleenex ready. And we got the bitch. We got the bitch again. We got the bitch again. Okay. Oh, and I've been making some really badass merch. What that says, I was there. I was there. Even if you weren't there in Arizona, it still works. Okay. Because girl, we were there. We saw with our 2 eyes. We heard with our 2 ears. Your ass get convicted again, basically. So that's what I've been doing on my spare time when I'm not sleeping. I'm pretty slept out though. I don't have any on tap right here. Let's see. I'm looking. No, I saved it. It's in my phone. I ain't got time. I ain't got enough space, actually. I have time. Yeah. But it takes a while to put it onto the merch. So anyways, I've been spinning out making it. So it's my fault. It is so awesome. What's the other one? Oh, I have the silhouette. The silhouette. Anyways, of Lori. I know, right? I'm like, ugh. But it's one of her mugshots, right? Because she's got multiples of everything, multiple life sentences, multiple victims, multiple states, trials, multiple. Come on. Oh, what happened? Running bear. I like that. How about I was there? You just didn't see me. Oh my God. I heard with my own 2 eyes. I mean, I heard with my own 2 ears. I saw with my own 2 eyes. Girl, you was rotten. Holy cow. And then holy cow. It reminds me of Melanie Gibb when she does holy cow, because she's weird. I'm sitting here scrolling. I have 2 sons that has a serious problem. I just went, One just went to jail, and it may be for some years. It's tough. I'm so sorry. But I mean, sometimes you're like, it's either there or in the ground. Sometimes you don't know which one would be better. I understand. But just don't give up on them yet. I don't think you are, but just don't give up on them. Lori, like this whole situation with Lori and them wanting, Uncle Charles wanting to intervene, wanting to help her, wanted to just get help for his wife. Sometimes you have to take the oxygen mask and you have to put it on your own mouth so that you can get your breath, so you can breathe, so that you can help others. And I just don't even think there's a situation that would have worked out, and just any situation but how it went, But watching that, and I mean, I've watched Intervention so many years. I mean, it just used to be one of the shows I watched. But and I've also used to be addicted to pills. Okay, just being honest with you, I did. Masking things. I didn't know what I was doing. I just did it just to do it, I thought. But it was just to mask pain, to not see things, They're uncomfortable. I don't know what they are. I just know they're uncomfortable, being very unhappy with yourself. I got to a point where I thought I was a dickhead. I was just like, oh my God, I'm getting on my own nerves. Like, I don't like who I am. And then it just, I mean, it started with, I got into a bad wreck. That's a lot of places where it starts with pain pills for sure. I mean, I remember these are ibuprofen, I promise. But a bottle like this, and I mean, my ankle was shattered. It was left shattered. Like, they didn't go in and operate right. They came out of there with those boot thingies, and had to go to Shreveport to get my ankle, get a surgeon to do the stuff. Medicaid, right? Okay, I was on Medicaid. Okay, and so we had to go there. And I still have 5 screws and a metal plate in my ankle that hurts so bad. I need to get it out. But this was in 2008, and I remember I left with a big ass bottle of Lorset, actually. And I don't know. I just didn't have to think about things. They just made me, I don't know, active, or at least in my mind, I thought I was active. I thought I was whatever. I had quite a few friends that died because of this, and then it's just like a whole shame cycle where you're just like hiding it, or you think you're hiding it, but you're not. Anyways, and I'm not trying to, this is just my experience in it. I hate when my lips do this. And it's from vitamin D, and I took it today. So, but I experienced this, and just one day, I'm not shitting you. Now, I'm not saying I dropped look, I still smoke. I still drank at the time. I mean, I was doing it all. Anything to not have to deal with reality. And it just, around 2018, I don't know what it was, but I was just like, what the f am I doing? It was like I had a come to Jesus moment, or just like what are you doing? What? And I mean, I just was like, oh all the money, I mean, it's just so risky. All the things that are so effing bad. You're not, I mean, you have little kids. I mean, hopefully not, but it happens. I had little kids, and this is very real. It's very real. It's very prevalent. It kills a lot of people every year. And it's not the way. But I don't think an intervention, I don't know. I just don't. I saw how an intervention blew up. And a lot of my family member, I know it's a different type of intervention. I understand, but advice is advice. Well, hold on, I got to think this out a little bit because Lori is doing it to avoid her reality, isn't she? I would say just different vehicles. I suppose we can be reckless just the same, whether it be water, whether it be narcotics, whether it be alcohol, whether it be working too much, whether it be keeping yourself busy with distractions so that you don't have to face things, because it's okay, I think, to do it for a little bit, but you're going to have to face it. It's not fun. I'm not, look, I'm not preaching. I'm not trying to be anybody's guru. Okay. Just saying, I don't have it all figured out, but I've seen this. I've experienced this. I've experienced it in my own life, and I've seen this with my brother, my friends, different dynamics. I just don't know if giving an ultimatum to a person who's broken and is lost is the right way. But then you also can't be an enabler. So it's really a very difficult. And I mean, it just depends on the person too. They have to want it, is something that I learned. They have to want it. Or, I believe that's what it is. I think that person has to want it. I don't care how much you want it for them. I don't care how much their grandmama wants it for them, or the Pope, whoever that may be, or Tom, Dick, and Harry. It doesn't matter. It matters what that person wants. And so there's unconditional, and then there's conditional love. And I'm thinking maybe the conditional love may have gotten that person there in the first place, because thou giveth and thou taketh is not easy to deal with. No, it's very high and mighty-ish. You're just like, what? You're kicking me in the teeth. It's very difficult. I don't know. There's no right or wrong way. I just say you talk about it. We're here for you. I am. It's, again, this is the harder things. I sit here and talk about murder and dead children and just the most extreme of all things. Okay. But I don't talk about this part too much because it's difficult, but it's real. It's real. JJ was born with drugs in his system. He went out with drugs in his system. We don't know how his sister went out. I mean, it just is a vicious cycle. It's a vicious cycle. And I think your kids are worth it, and I'm sorry you're going through that, Running Bear. Just know we're here. All that to just say that, that we're here. That happened for me, and I just was like, what the hell am I doing and why? And I just stopped. And then I made an appointment with my doctor that I'd seen since I was 15 years old. And I was like, Dr. Primo, I've been taking pain pills for the last 8 years. And he was like, what? I'm like, you didn't prescribe them to me. No, calm down. I blackballed myself, even though I didn't get them from there. I just wanted to confess. I just wanted to be honest with myself as well as him. I mean, we had a history. And I also told that to my therapist, and she was like, are you okay? I'm like, I'm cool. The hardest part was before 6 days ago, all those years. That was the hard part, because I wasn't even sober in order to, to give a good judgment, to be judged on, like if I'm going to my therapist, yet I'm, masking, and I'm medicating, self-medicating, and you know what I mean? All the fluff. Then it's just things I'm putting in place between me and like being real with myself, So it's time you never get back. It's time. So honesty is the first step. But just tell your person, that you love them, that you believe in them, and that you will be here. You can't support them financially. You can't, all the things that enable people to become like Lori and family. Yeah, we just got to talk about it. Girl, it sucks. But I can't sit like crisscross applesauce because anyways, not the way I'd like to, because my screws are on the outer side of my leg. And they hurt. It's time to come out because they're backing out, I'm sure. I mean, I can feel them. I've always had to be careful when I shave there. They're my ankle, my fibula, and my tibia. I was, again, take it from Krisha. I told you I do things whole ass. Okay. Straight up was going for a job interview that morning, 2008, when I got in the wreck. And I forget what I forgot. I forget what I forgot. You ever done that? Anyways, I turned around to go back home real quick, and I texting and driving. I was reading a text. I look up and I'm like, holy shit. There was a 5-ton utility bucket truck straight ahead. And I was actually driving one of Larry's trucks, right? And it was like a big ass sled. It was like a tank, straight up. It was like a 93 Chevy King Cat, whatever, quad cab with a diesel tank on the back. It was long wheelbase. I mean, it was like all the things. And like my stepbrothers, they're tall. I'm 5'3". So, the seat always breaks with the tallest person. Let's hope it don't do it on the shortest person, because holy crap, I'm like, great babe. Anyway, so I jumped. So whenever I drove, I had to like really sit back in the seat and like push my leg out, so my feet could reach the damn gas pedals. Okay. Or gas pedal. And so whenever I saw that 5-ton utility bucket truck straight ahead, I put all my weight into my right leg, and I put it all into the brake. And then, so whenever impact, I was going about 55, 60-ish, maybe. And then, I don't think I didn't have my seatbelt on either. So I wear my seatbelt all the time now. Okay. So many things. I got in a bad motorcycle accident in 2014. That was bad. I had just taken my helmet off with that. Right when you get close to your house, take my helmet off and I'm like, oh, and where do accidents happen the most? Closest to your house. Okay. It's common sense. Just, it wasn't very common to me. I was also self-medicating. I felt fine, but, we got in a wreck there too on a very, the Hubers will know this, on Big Lake Road. Okay. And I happened to have Miss Me jeans on that night. And anyways, so on the motorcycle, I know I just switched from one wreck to another, but on the back of a Harley, I was a fender bitch. Okay. I was sitting on the fender, and we had been at a poker thingy all day, poker run. Man. So I took my helmet off. I've never found that helmet. Okay. I don't know where it went. Lost my phone. It was camouflaged too, like an idiot. And so there were some really steep ditches. And I feel like I remember it in like 3 snapshots. If I don't know how to make that make sense, but it's like I forget if it was, I don't know what brake it was, but one of the brakes, or a brake on the bike, when he went to stop, it locked up, allegedly. And I just remember flying. And then I saw like as if you were to take 3 photos, with a camera, and I saw the tail light, boom, 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 like it got further, it was here, then it was here, then it was here. And then I landed, and where I landed like, so here's the road, and I landed in the ditch upright though, in a very steep ditch. And so the bite continues, and I just remember I remember clutching onto the grass and I was just like, oh my God. I mean, I had a knot on the left side of my head. Uh, this looked horrible. Like my ring, my ring finger, all this, it's like it went from really bad to less bad. And so all the skin was gone right here. All of this, it got better. Like I said, the closer you got in, this road rash, not fun. And I had a little road rash on my knee, and it actually created a hole in my knee of my pants, of my Miss Me jeans that I had just bought. And so I remember I just clutched onto the grass and I was just like, oh my God. I don't know, shock, I guess. And then I remember getting in the ambulance coming and everything. And I remember they were going to cut my jeans off. And I was like, no. Come on, we can get these, we can work together. Anyways, I know. I told you I was feeling good. So that's that. I never would let them scrub my arm. I was like, no, I'm like, I don't know what I'll do. Like that is the most painful thing ever to go through is road rash. And so, y'all, I can't even imagine what it is for a burn victim. Cause I mean, if you know, you know. Oh my God. That was the worst. I remember going to my doctor's office too. And I was like, look, I know I told you no more pain pills. Okay. But I mean, I cleared the whole waiting room because I walked in there, and my arms, I'm holding it up because I got cellulitis in my arm. I was in pain. And so I talked to my doctor. I was like, I know. I just went to him and said, hey, I've been on pain pills, and then he was like, noted. And then I walk in there and I'm in hella pain. And he was like, he wrote me a script and it was for a certain amount. I want to say it was like 60. By the time I got to the pharmacy, he had knocked it down to 15. And I was like, oh, thank you. Like he remembered me, he got me. And so that was just a deep appreciation for that, because you got to control the pain, but don't let the pain control you. Don't let the medications control you. So y'all be careful on that shit. If they even do that anymore, do it only if you have to. If you have to. And then get the hell off of it. Yeah. At Jason, too, with the antidepressants after his stroke, which is a traumatic brain injury, by the way. Again, you don't get the pamphlet. I didn't get it. If I did, I don't remember it. I didn't. It's like I didn't comprehend it. It's like I'd take forever to process things, and that is horrible. I want to feel, and I do feel eventually. Just gotta wait. It sucks. But Jason, when he had a stroke, I remember my mama when she had her stroke, they put her on antidepressants. It was Zoloft, I think. And I mean, I've been on the whole gamut because that's how my doctor treated my anxiety disorder when I was Tylee's age. I'm like, I'm not depressed. I'm not depressed. I didn't know how to explain it or describe it. I was 15 years old. I didn't have those words. I didn't know how to explain those things. Very good. I didn't understand what anxiety is, why you have it, or why a person experiences it. My mom even told me one day, and this was I was probably 40. Okay. I'm 46. And she was like, Crash, have you ever, when you're having a panic attack, she was like, do jumping jacks. And I was like, she don't get it. Like, what the hell? It's like, if my mama don't get it, nobody's going to get it, I'm like, yeah, I tried that. Thank you. Anyways, it's just, I think it's different for everybody. My best friend just experienced her first panic attack. And she was like, girl, I thought about you. Because, I mean, there were times I would go in an ambulance because, I mean, it was just like, it's fight or flight, fight or flight, fight or flight, fight or flight all the time. And it sucks. Uncle Charles had them too. But I think it's all to do with trauma. I think it has to do with unfinished, what am I trying to say? Therapy, like things that I still need to address within me. I still need to confront, you know, my past, my upbringing, the things I've gotten myself into. Holy shit. You know, and so in a way, I believe that because I can be, I'm the biggest person to sabotage myself. Like, oh, I am my own worst. I don't even know I'm doing it. And I'm just like, oh, wow, girl, you need to stop doing that to yourself. And it's just trying to realize when I am doing that. And I'm like, oh my goodness, you know, I need to, it's just trying to change in the midst of everything else. And just acknowledging that that happens and that it doesn't have to be that way, you know, just trying to figure out a better way to go about things. But Jason, he's, I don't know what it is, but I'm like, Jason, there's nothing wrong with taking antidepressant. Nothing wrong. Your brain chemistry changed. That's all that is. All this does. And if it doesn't work, let's go back to the doctor. Let's try. There are so many out there. You know, it's not one size fits all, and it depends on how long. Sometimes they work, and then boom. Wellbutrin worked great for me. I stopped smoking pretty much, unless I was drinking. I don't drink now, so I mean, you're a self-sabotager too, right? I'm gonna kick my own ass, you know, that kind of thing. Anyways, but that's a very dangerous way of living too, in my opinion. From experience, like I have been reckless, which is just as dangerous and bad as self-harming myself directly. You know, I've gone as far as, you know, wishing I wasn't here, or, you know, I don't want to breathe. I don't deserve to breathe. I don't want to be here, you know, wishing myself dead. And I'm not saying that's right, but, you know, I'm glad I didn't stay there. And I think that's the most important thing. You know, it's okay to reach out. Everybody does. We all have busy lives. I'm like my mom. Y'all heard her on the stand when she was like, I don't like to talk on the phone. Same. I mean, but once you get me on the phone, you can't get my ass off of it. So I just, especially through this whole ordeal, I've tried to, you know, block out notifications because I know my ADHD. I'm trying to work with all the things and all the distractions. And I mean, but I also ended up closing myself off. And that's, we go extremo, y'all. We go extreme. I do. I don't have this shit figured out. And I just know that worked for a season, but now it's time to move on. Jason, you know, he had his stroke. Okay. I wish he'd be a little more kind to himself. And I'm very proud of him. Y'all, he was a damn beast. A beast mode. Like, they were like, whatever you gain back in a certain amount of time is you're pretty much going, that's it, you know. That's you're gonna peg out there. That's probably the most, you know, use you'll get back, the most speech you'll get back. This dude, like all other things, blew my mind. And just, I witnessed that. I witnessed him just, that his will to live, to survive, to not give up, you know, that's so strong. And perseverance, you know, and just resilience, and just not ready to leave yet. Anyways, yeah, I'm sorry. Anyways, I'm gonna go be with y'all right now. Thank y'all for listening. I love you guys. Anyways, I'm gonna go back and read through the comments, and thank you for sharing your stories here too. Thank you, Natalie. It's because I have a good picker. No, I'm joking. I'm just trying to lighten it up. Damn it. Oh, and then Cute Texas Toads. I love your name. I just realized that Melanie B was there with Alex trying to get into Brandon's parents' garage and being combative. So it would create a fight and a reason for Alex to shoot Brandon in self-defense or get her grimy ass hands on her children. And remember, they were being rated dark at the time. Half of them, 2 of her kids. Nope. No, I think, why I always say Justin. I think Brandon Boudreaux's children, I think that they deserve this trial as well. This robbed their lives. This robbed their cousins. This robbed their parents it just robbed so many things. The ripple continues. And I mean, I think it'll be even more interesting because we get to watch with our own eyes and hear with our own ears this last conviction get handed to Lori's ass. Okay. We get to see that and we get to watch Brandon react to that too. And I mean, just bless his heart, y'all. I'm so grateful. He's got a good heart. I don't care what his ex-wife says about him. I don't care. We don't too much care what she says. Oh, thank you. Is it Mela? Kresha, right? Kresha. Okay. Kresha. Yeah, you too, Nick. You too. I love you too, Janelle. Mela, I'm thinking, but I could be wrong. Yeah, know how to pick them. Remember when Lori and Chad were talking about this? You got a good picker? Anyways, when they were talking about Mike Stroud, that's why I said it. Yeah, thank y'all for being here and just for sharing and just making this a safe and great, wonderful chat to, like I said, we talk about some dark shit, but, you know, it's called surviving at this point in time. It's necessary. Yeah, that's why she's the ex. Amen. All right. Justice for Tylee, Charles, Tammy, JJ, and Joe. Love always wins. You're proof of this. We'll come back soon. Sooner than next week. And oh my God, my nose itches. We'll come back. And no, I'm not on pain meds, right? That used to be the dead giveaway. But I'm going to be on with Joe Schmo, I think Tuesday. I don't know if we're going to pick back up on Glenn Pace memo or if we should just start back damn over. Okay. I don't know because it's been a hot minute. The trial interrupted that and he became very busy, but it's very important. It's important to me for sure. And I think a lot of you will see the parallels in the continuing saga that we are enduring trials for today. The deaths of my family members, I believe it's all stems from this Glenn Pace memo back in the church that was, it was leaked to the media in 1991 and it's got all their names on it. You're like, oh, wow, is Lori and Chad? And you're like, oh no, but pretty much. It just doesn't name them directly, but here we are. And Ruby and Jody too, they on there too. But anyway, so if y'all join me and Joe, then Joe Schmo, subscribe to his channel, please. I really appreciate it. So I'll see you next Tuesday. Okay. Anyways, bye guys. Love you.